Hey there, NPCs. Welcome to Rules of Cool, where we interview very special guests, creators, gamers, designers, and world builders. I'm your host, Rem, and today we're bringing back returning guest Jason Hardy, the ShadowRun line developer, and we'll be talking about the new platform for community content programming, Holo Streets, and what's new for the sixth world. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss it. Now, you can type in hashtag RemPC in the chat anytime during the show tonight for your free entry to be entered for a chance to win the new metaplanar book from Shadowrun, Astra Ways. And it can be yours by typing hashtag RemPC, donating bits, or subscribing in chat. Every 100 bits gets you a bonus entry to win, and subscribing gets you 7 whole bonus entries. And you get that one free entry, again, by typing hashtag RemPC. In Rem Alternis news, Subversion, the new cyberpunk fantasy TTRPG by Fragging Unicorns Games, is now live on Kickstarter. Build your community and subvert authority at every turn in this gritty Neo-Babylon setting. Head to the link in chat and back now before the campaign ends. Exit Vector is the aerial combat minis game coming to Kickstarter March 28th. Give your pilots some much-deserved attention as you use this rules-light game on its own or as part of your cyberpunk role-playing game. Get your rigor on with Exit Vector and follow the link in chat to check out the project. And don't forget to enter your email. Well of the Worlds is coming to Kickstarter as well on April 4th from Mobius Worlds Publishing. Powered by Prowlers and Paragon's Ultimate Edition, this TTRPG setting transports characters into a new fantasy world where they discover they have powers they didn't have in their home world. Inspired by Japanese isekai portal fantasy stories, this is a world of adventure for you to explore. Learn more by visiting the link in chat and following the project. And finally, Battletech is returning to Kickstarter on March 23rd, premiering at Adepticon in Chicago. This new Mercenaries campaign means more minis, more maps, more stretch goals, and more fun. So check it out at the link in chat and don't miss out on the launch. Now, time to get right into our conversation for this week, so stay tuned, RemPCs. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back, Jason. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Oh, it's always nice to talk to you, Jason. You're one of my favorites. Well, actually, your daughter is one of my favorites, but you come in a close second.
That's totally understandable, and we accept your ranking.
Awesome. Well, we've had you on the show before, and we've asked some of the usual questions, so I'm going to jump right in to our questions of the week because we've got Holo Streets to talk about. And so my first question, because of Holo Streets and like the ability to add your own little stamp on the sixth worlds, what brought that about? Is there anything about the OGL that caused that to happen, or what is Catalyst's stance on the whole OGL?
No, this wasn't specifically because of all the OGL kerfluffle. In fact, we've been working on this for a while. It's just one of those projects that we've been working on when you have a crack in the schedule and you can put some time on it, but then those cracks go away, and so it keeps getting pushed off. But we finally are ready to launch, and it happens to come at a good time. But it's something we wanted to do for a while, just because we know Shadowrun has a very passionate community, and we know that people want to do things in different editions of Shadowrun and want to try things that are different. We get questions all the time where people want to write up like their home city for Shadowrun and put that in the sixth world and put in the landmarks they know about and special things to them and put that in a Shadowrun setting. And Holo Streets gives everyone the opportunity to do that. You can put together whatever Shadowrun content you want And you can use the provided templates and art to make it look pretty and very Shadowrunny, and then you can put it up on the Hollow Streets area of Drive-Thru RPG and find an audience for it, and you can sell it.
That's awesome. My next question is like, what is Hollow Streets and how will it work? So you kind of gave us that nice.
Right to that.
You did. So you said there's assets that creators can use to kind of help build this and make it marketable. And it's all through Drive-Thru RPG. Is there like a program or a template, or what are the requirements behind it in order to do this?
Yeah, so Drive-Thru RPG has long had their community content program, and so a lot of people, the Dungeon Masters Guild and Pathfinder Infinite and other games that have a community content program. So this is just following in their footsteps. But we want to make it as easy as possible for people to create, and so that's why we have the art pack, so that you can have a lot of images to put into your product, and then have the templates so that it looks like a Shadowrun product. The templates are based on Shadowrun 6th World, so that's what it will look like. That doesn't mean you have to make SR6 products. If you want to do something for an earlier edition, go for it. Make it happen. Make content for your favorite edition. And if you want to make your own templates, that's okay. We just thought we'd make one for those of you who don't have the graphic skills, you can have it made easy for you. So that's not a barrier to people getting into the program. But if you want to make your own, I'm not going to stop you, but we're here to make it easy for you.
Awesome. That's really cool. So then
you can just post it. There is an agreement that you'll sign, just basic contract that's standard for Drive-Thru. And then we'll have some content guidelines of what you can and can't include, just about how much, violence and other adult material you should include in the stuff. And of course, we want absolutely no racism, no offensive content, no content that further marginalizes already marginalized people. So Shadowrun should be for everyone, and so the content should reflect that. But other than that, you'll be able to create lots of stuff and put it up for sale.
Awesome. That's really cool. And when is this going live?
Should be March 24th is the date we have circled on the calendar to launch it.
Awesome. That's super exciting. So I left this off our questions, so sorry, but I know you have something to say about it anyway.
I'll just make up an answer.
Yeah, right. So is there anything? I'm tossing you a big fat softball right now, like it's a wiffle ball. Is there anything that's set to release already on Hollow Street, so the website doesn't launch and then there's nothing there for a while? Is there anything that will be ready for launch?
Yes, we're certainly hoping there will be some things ready for launch. I'll be talking to some people, but in particular, one group we've talked to, you mentioned in your intro, the fine people who are making the Exit Vector game should be working on something, and we want that to be available for launch. And as you mentioned in the intro, Exit Vector is a kind of rigor chase combat game, but with simplified rules, so that if you moved into a chase scene from your Shadowrun game, then you could use the Exit Vector rules to make it a little simpler to play the combat scene. If you were just wanting to play a vehicle chase game by itself and not as part of a tabletop role-playing game, you could play Exit Vector. But it is designed to work really well with Shadowrun. I played it. It does work really smoothly. It does have a kind of Shadowrun 6 feel to it, but simplified, so it works really well with those mechanics, but it would work as a standalone thing too. So that should be, assuming those Exit Vector people have their act together, that should be a launch product.
I would know nothing about that. Coming to Kickstarter March 28th, and there will be minis. The Kickstarter is for the generic, system agnostic game, and that comes with miniatures. And then there's going to be a skin for the rulebook for Shadowrun as well, because these are Shadowrun fans that wanted more rigor love in the game, and to have some really neat chase scenes or extraction scenes and things like that. There are maps with hexes. There are a bunch of different minis and more that might be created as stretch goals as well. So that way they kind of support and supplement each other. So if you want the rules for how to do it and the basic set, you can go to Hollow Streets. If you want lots of minis to paint and stuff like that, you can go to the Kickstarter. So yeah, that's how that kind of overwhelms. So thanks for letting me do some promotion there in the middle of
no problem. Happy to have that.
It's relevant.
I've been they've been a great team to work with. They are always prepared, always knowing what they want, always ready to move to the next step. It's a good team, and I'm excited to see how they roll out the product in the next month or so.
Yeah, and they're demo agents, most of them. So like it's neat that, these are people that do know Shadowrun, that run Shadowrun regularly at conventions and have built something to expand the game, which is neat.
Absolutely.
So there's been a lot of releases for Shadowrun lately. I feel like every time I look on Facebook, there's a new book out. So tell us about some of the biggest and most recent releases that have come for Shadowrun.
Yeah, some of that is just because, shipping bottlenecks us, and so we just release things when shipping managed to get it to us. So we usually try to spread it out every other month. But in January and February, we had releases coming out back to back. So January saw the release of Null Value. That was the Matrix Threats book. So if you already picked up Hack and Slash and you want to figure out who is in the Matrix causing problems for your deep Matrix runs, then Null Value is the book to look at. As you can guess by the title, the Null Sect, who is one of my favorites, is profiled in there, along with other groups. And then just in February, we had the book you mentioned for the giveaway, Astral Ways. We've had this ongoing plot line with a lot of metaplanar disruptions and extra portals opening up to metaplanes, and this really gets you into the full exploration of the metaplanes if you want to go there. If you want to take your Shadowrun game to really weird and wild lands, but still have Shadowrun elements, like you want to still be able to do some hacking while you're in this strange kind of metaplanar realm, then Astral Ways has got all the rules for you to work that out. And it will tie in a lot to the upcoming plots. So if you want to know how the plots are going to develop, Astral Ways has a lot of good clues in it for you. And then we had 2 card decks come out in February too. The program deck, which goes along with Hack and Slash. So it just has programs. If you have trouble keeping track of programs and you want to just be able to put cards in front of you that tell you what your programs are and what they do, then program deck is the deck for you.
Like Edge Zone.
Like Edge Zone, but just for reference rather than a standalone game.
Fair. I just like lining them all up.
Yeah, they are fun to see and get all your Shadowrun stuff in front of you. And then the Rogues lineup is the follow-up to the Rogues Gallery, so another NPC deck. So if you need more NPCs, and these are great because you can use them as NPCs in your game. You can even use them as PCs. If you're doing a quick pickup game at a convention and you need to deal out some characters, you can just give them some cards and they can run. I've done that, and it works really smoothly. So anytime you need Shadowrun characters with their stats in a good compact format, you can get the Rogues lineup deck or the Rogues Gallery, and you've got a bunch of NPCs. And they also, fit on the Game Master screen because you got the cool sleeves on the Game Master screen where you can perch them on top and you can see the stats and the other people see the portrait. It's great.
I'm going to be at GaryCon here in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to be running a Shadowrun game for some friends. I might have to get that deck, and I left my GM screen in Canada, so I might need another GM screen so that I can do that because I really like the feel of that, and especially for some of them haven't played Shadowrun much, if ever. So being able to just hand out some cards and be like, choose your character, sounds really fun.
I'll go out and visit Red or Games Plus in Mount Prospect, and he'll hook you up.
Ooh,
at least he better have all the Shadowrun stuff.
Right. Well, so yeah, I'll have to make a trip when I'm in Chicago next week. Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, so let's talk some competition. There have been a lot of Cyberpunk Fantasy TTRPG Kickstarters launching early this year. How do you feel about the products within the genre growing?
I think it's really interesting to see different takes on the genre and what they emphasize and what they want to do with the genre, because I think there's a lot of ways to approach it. One of the things I've always loved about Shadowrun is how many options you have, that you can tell an infinite amount of stories. You can make an infinite amount of characters. So there's not one way to do that genre. And so all the other games that are coming to it are showing kind of the different things they like and the different things they emphasize. And I think it's great to see what all those different approaches are and to see what the different creators think is important and what they think is the fun part of it, because there's a ton of fun parts of it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that, it's the lore of Shadowrun is so deep and detailed. When you've got 30 some years of lore at this point, it kind of happens. But yeah, but it's interesting to see what people take from that. And like, there's always going to be mega corporations that are evil and taking over the world, because that's not happening in real life. So like
fantasy. That's the fantasy part of cyberpunk fantasy, is the mega corporations.
Yeah, totally. So like, yes, that's probably going to be there, but like, what do people change about the rule systems, the archetypes that you're used to seeing in Shadowrun? If there's not shadow runners, what part of society are they looking at, and
right.
And how are they're making a game and a plot that kind of supports the genre?
Yeah, and even the goals of the story. What are the ends of the story that you're looking for in the particular way of playing that, and that can vary from game to game.
Well, and seeing like a lot of the media that's coming out between Blade Runner and Altered Carbon was a great one to watch. Kind of that cyberpunk of what story are they going to tell in this cyberpunk future? So I like the skins and all of that kind of stuff. That's very interesting.
I would definitely love more cyberpunk fantasy media storytelling, but
me too. Anybody got I happen to have a script in my back pocket if anybody has investment money.
Anyone's got it? Contact Ram.
Yeah, please.
He's got the talent.
We'll make the series happen. It'll be cyberpunk and fantasy, and won't be Bright. Whether you love Bright or hate Bright. But
Michael Eisner, we need this. Just let it happen. Just let it happen, Michael Eisner.
Please, I'll be your best friend.
And what more do you want than that?
Right. So what else is coming for Shadowrun that you can talk about?
So we just released a new mission today.
Ooh.
So that is available. We also today have the Shadowrun 5 Mega Bundle that came out on Humble Bundle. So
let's talk about that.
If you still have affection for Shadowrun 5, and heaven knows I do, and you want to get like all the main books, so all of the core books, the advanced core books, the Seattle book, the corporate book, and a few more, 17 PDFs altogether, you can now buy them for one low price on Humble Bundle.
And so the link is in the chat, so you can click right there and get it. Humble Bundle is amazing for getting packages like these. Is Chrome Flesh going to be in the group?
Chrome Flesh is in there.
Little Easter egg for you guys. My name is in Chrome Flesh. It was before I cared about Shadowrun that a friend of mine who's a writer wrote our gaming group into Chrome Flesh, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's like, yeah, I want to run this cyberpunk fantasy game for you. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds really boring.
Nerd.
I'm a hypocrite. It's fine. It's fine. I'm obsessed now. So cool. The Humble Bundle. Yeah, right. So the Humble Bundle, you've got what was the first thing you mentioned again?
The mission that just came out.
The mission. Where are missions this year?
They're still in Neo Tokyo, so we're finishing up the Neo Tokyo run right now.
Okay. So that's pretty neat. And then what else? Anything else coming for Shadowrun that you can talk about?
Yeah, we've got a few books in the pipeline, so they are making their way to the warehouse. The next one will be should be hitting stores on April 5th, so not too far along, not too far away, I mean. And it's called Whisper Nets, and it is a campaign book set in Manhattan, and it is all about digging around Manhattan and looking for secrets that you're not supposed to find and figuring out the best way to use whatever capital you get from uncovering these secrets.
Ooh, that's pretty neat.
Very fond of Manhattan, so I managed to put some of my favorite parts of Manhattan in that book. And I also included like a chase scene set in an automat because I'm also very fond of automats. So I got to put in lots of stuff I like.
Neato. Oh, that
And
sounds so
digging for
fun.
secrets, which I also like. So that it's a lot of fun. The writers did an excellent job of coming up with some great plot lines and then trying to make it all both tangled and accessible so you could figure out what's going on through all the tangled webs. But a lot of fun things to do in that campaign book. And
It's
then
really cool.
our core augmentation book. So if you like your cyber, if you like your geneware, if you like your bioware, if you like whatever augmentations there are, Body Shop is coming in June.
I like the name. It just leaves an image that I'm now processing through right now.
It was one of the easier names. I sometimes struggle with book names, like when we did Firing Squad, the combat book for ShadowRun 6. I was doing like name after name after name that got rejected, and it wasn't working. And it was my son Finn who finally came up with Firing Squad and
Nice. Go
demanded
Finn.
a creative consultant credit once he came up with it.
Go Finn. Go for it.
Yeah, he will assert his rights whenever he feels he needs to.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I can't imagine naming the hundreds of books that are out for Shadowrun. You need so much creativity that I don't think I have. So
But yeah, it was funny though. Body Shop came easily. That was like, that would be a good one. And it was one of the ones when I sent it around to people, like, how have we not called an augmentation book Body Shop yet? How did we manage to not use that one? So good to have it.
awesome. Cool. So books coming out as always.
Oh, you mentioned
And
Edge Zone. I should mention Edge Zone because we should talk a little bit about that since you've been
let's do
working so
it.
hard on it.
Yeah, no.
Edge Zone is about to arrive if it hasn't already arrived in the warehouse. So that means all the distribution to the backers is just on the verge of happening. So get
On the
ready to
verge.
receive your Edge Zone copies.
Yeah, the US has been pretty easy to figure out fulfillment for some of the EU and Australia hubs we're waiting on responses for. So those ones might take a little bit longer, but I'm really excited about it. I cannot wait to get that game in my hands, like the final version, because I got some of the samples as we were running the Kickstarter and stuff. But to have the final will be really, really fun.
All the cards and all the tokens and everything. Yeah, it'll be fun to play. And then if
Definitely.
for whatever reason you didn't back the Kickstarter, you can pick it up later in the summer. So, we'll give time to all the backers to get their copies first, but then it will hit stores probably later this summer.
Yay! Oh, that's so exciting. So speaking of summer is the season of conventions. I mean, they're happening in spring too, but I needed a segue. Okay. So
I will accept it.
Yeah, right. What conventions will Catalyst be attending this year? And where will the demo team be as well for people that want to play?
So the big one, of course, is Gen Con. So we will be at Gen Con in force, and we will have all sorts of demos and stuff going on. We will also, let's see, we should have some demos possibly going on at Origins. I'm not sure, but we unfortunately will not be at Origins as a company this year.
I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, I usually enjoy Origins, but there have been complications. That's me using my diplomatic voice.
Yeah. The in Shadowrun terms, some negative qualities of. So where else are you going to be in place of Origins this year?
So there is a convention, and I don't know exactly how big our presence will be. There's a new convention starting up in Canada called GamesCon Canada. And so we might have a presence up there. That is the exact same dates as Origins. So we might have a presence there. We're looking at that. And then you mentioned the BattleTech Kickstarter launching at Adepticon. So we absolutely will have people at Adepticon. The whole BattleTech team will be there, and I'll probably just go by and crash it because, it's about 45 minutes from my home.
Yeah.
So I'll
Well,
just
you
go
can
in.
come hang out at GaryCon with me.
That's a little farther.
Like an hour and a half farther.
A little farther. So, but you come down here and come hang with me.
I will. I'm going to Chicago next week. And then for the following week, I'll be at GaryCon for anyone that's going to be there, which I guess also counts as Catalyst representation now. For
It
those
does
that don't
now.
know, I'm the new marketing director for Catalyst. Surprise!
Woo!
Yay! So I will be at GaryCon because I had been planning on going anyway, and that way I can do some networking while everyone is busy promoting the heck out of the BattleTech Kickstarter at Adepticon.
Looks
Cool.
like
Any other cons?
Looks like one exciting thing that we have coming. This isn't the summer, it's the fall, but it looks like we're gonna send some lucky people to PAX Australia.
Okay, dibs, first of all. I have always wanted to go to Australia. I am so excited if that ends up happening. And part of what's exciting for PAX Australia too is we do have some live streamers that are pretty popular in Australia that are now going to be voicing some of the audiobooks. So for Shadows Down Under, we have two Australians that will be narrating that. And I think there's a couple others that are coming right now. It's funny because I've got a British New Zealander. So he was born in Britain, but lives in New Zealand now, and an Australian that are going to be doing Vladivostok Gauntlet. So they are going to be doing Russian accents instead of their wonderful, wonderful other accents. But yeah, so very exciting to have them on board, and hopefully we can connect at PAX Australia. So
yeah, I don't think I'll be at PAX Australia, but if you go, more power to you. I might be once again in Germany. So we'll have a presence at Essen Game Fair.
Oh, neat. Oh, that's so neat. Yeah, that would be cool too. Awesome. Speaking of, Shadowrun and audiobooks and stuff like that, the first release that we have coming up is going to be Nothing Personal, which is a novella about from the perspective of a Mr. Johnson. And I'm very excited for this one to release. First of all, because I'm the voice actress in it, so you'll get to hear me. Thank you. But also because the voice actor did such a good job that I like working with him now. I have to remember that he was playing a character and I don't actually hate him to his core, because this character is awful and what you would expect a Mr. Johnson to be. But I'm very excited for the release. He's done a wonderful job.
I remember getting my first read through of that story and being like, okay, so this guy is a jerk. Okay, how big of a jerk can we let him be? And I was a little worried, but I think it worked out with the level of jerkiness that the writer provided.
Yeah, I think it's hard to start with and listen to at first, like for the first 15 minutes or so, because he's establishing who he is as a person, and oh boy does he. But then when you start getting into the run and the problems and stuff like that, then you kind of see he's still, the jerk element is there, but he's also trying to save his own skin. So some of the interactions and stuff humanize him a little more, which I think is very well done. So you actually kind of really get into the run, even though at first you're like, stop talking.
But it's a hat tip to a writer who can get you to react emotionally to a character like that.
Very much.
And not I believe alienate you from the story, but still keep you going and make you want to find out what's going to happen to this guy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I think it's Olivier Gagnon, who is the author. And he's done a few Shadowrun books, so I'm excited to see what else is coming. Neat. So you'll have to watch out for Nothing Personal coming to Audible and probably other places here pretty soon. Neat. So we've talked about conventions. Demo team will be at Gen Con, maybe Origins. And and then hopefully maybe Canada. If
Yeah, that's last I heard. It looks like probably Canada.
Cool, awesome. It was funny because when I heard about the Canada convention, I'm like, "We're in Canada," and they're like, "Canada," and I'm like, "Canada is big." I live in Canada. Is it close to home or really far from home?
Yeah, we're gonna send you to the convention because it's in Canada. Never mind that it's in Calgary. Calgary and Toronto are basically, neighbors.
I mean, well, and I'm in Montreal.
That's right, you're in Montreal, so even
yeah, but I'll be at Origins.
Oh well.
Oops. Yeah. All right. So, what are kind of going back to some of the books and stuff? What are some of the most recent plot threads of the Sixth World that have happened?
So, a long time ago, it seems now, back when we were planning sixth edition, we wanted to have a big plot book come out at the same time. And at the same time that we were thinking of what plots could be, R.J. Thomas had been pitching me some ideas about Detroit, and especially Ares leaving Detroit. And so he would pitch an idea, and then I'd say, okay, but can we make it bigger? And so then he'd go back and pitch another idea, and I'd say, okay, that's good. Can we make it bigger? Because we really wanted to make it earth-shaking. And then I thought he made it big enough, and I'd take it to Lauren, and Lauren would be like, yeah, but can we make it bigger? So all of that discussion resulted in the plot book that kind of launched with 6th edition, Cutting Black, where we did a whole lot of things with Ares not only leaving Detroit, but a whole army corps disappearing, and blackouts plaguing border cities in the UCAS, so that eventually they seceded, leaving the UCAS greatly weakened, and all sorts of fun along those lines. And at first, the plot line about the Army Corps disappearing was just an inconvenience for the UCAS, because, losing an Army Corps is a pain. But then we had the question of where did they go? And so we've been slowly revealing the answer to that question over the course of several books. And so some of the things we found out is some of the members of that Army Corps have been coming back. That happened in Slipstreams, but coming back kind of changed because they've been to another metaplane. And so they've had some alterations done to them. Now we're finding out why and how those alterations were done. And so we've been discussing this metaplane called Dis. And they clearly made a bargain with the corpse in order to make this Army Corps disappear. The entire nature of that bargain, what they got for it, and what prices they're going to ask for their services, we're still revealing. So because RJ did such a good job coming up with so many plots for Cutting Black, and he played a lead role in helping develop that book, he is the lead developer on a big follow-up plot book called Scotophobia. I fought long and hard for that title, even though people keep making fun of me for it.
I mean,
fear of Scots? Fear of people named Scott? Fear of people from Scotland? No. It's none of those. It's Fear of the Dark.
Oh.
And I
heard Skota, and I was like, Supreme Court of the...
So, but it's fun to say. I've been saying it for months now. Scotophobia. It really rolls off the tongue with all the assonance of the O's.
Scotophobia. Say it.
So
Can we say
book
it
is
5 times fast?
Yeah, give it a shot. Scotophobia. 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 Scotophobia.
That was 4. There you go. I'll let you be the winner on that.
Thank you. Like I said, I've been saying it a lot. So that book is going into layout right now. So that will be, we should have copies of it at Gen Con.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to it. It brings a whole lot of crazy, and I always like it when Shadowrun brings the crazy, because that's what it should be doing. It's got some really hideous monsters. It's got some weird plot lines. It's got just terribly evil things happening, and Shadowrunner's trying to stand up against it. So it's going to be cool.
Oh, man. Yeah, I love the big scary things that Shadowrun has, because as you get, you've got all the bad guys in D&D and stuff, that all the monsters that you might face, but like here a lot of the monsters are human, or metahuman, but also a lot of them are metahuman made. Um, so that's terrifying too. So yeah, I always love not knowing what's happening. Actually, Bob Loper is in the chat right now. And he is running our Emerald Lich game, which is not playing tonight because we
Hi,
have the
Dr.
one-shot
Bob.
show. Yeah, we have the one-shot show tonight, but we're coming up on the 1-year finale of the campaign that Bob's been running, and we are scared. We don't know what it is exactly. It is an old god, and we're basically gonna fight like Cthulhu's cousin, and I'm really scared. So it's gonna be great.
I haven't done an extended campaign with Bob, but I have done adventures with him, and he's put me through some stuff.
Yeah, Bob is Dr. Meat Grinder Loper, and I love it. Oh, it's actually much worse. Cool, thanks, Bob. I really appreciate you.
No worries,
cool.
It's worse than you thought.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's happened every time I played Shadowrun. The campaign that I played with Scott Schlatz was had CFD and monads and the Monad Arcanum, and oh gosh, it was all kinds of great stuff. So
you got to run with
terrifying.
that plot line.
Yeah, I think we were the play test for his plots that he was writing for the books. He was like, "How would this work? Let's mess with my players and find out." So cool. But yeah, so all right, great. So we talked about the conventions. We talked about some of the plot. Any other meta plots you can share with us that have been recent?
So if you followed the book Assassin's Night, there's spillover from that plot.
Ooh.
So let's see, how long ago did Assassin's Night? Well, I'll still be vague just because I hate spoiling things for people. Assassin's Night, as you might guess by its title, dealt with assassins and assassination, and someone pretty high profile being the target of an assassination. And you don't get that sort of thing happening without fallout. So the fallout will continue to roll over the Sixth World, especially looking at who was responsible for hiring the assassin. Whisper Nets will have a lot of information about that. There was a firm mentioned in Assassin's Night called Animus Construction. And if you want to learn a whole lot more about Animus Construction and what they do and what part of the Animus they're actually building, then you'll want to look out for Whisper Nets and then a follow-up threats book coming late this year called Falling Point.
Wow.
So lots of good stuff. I don't want to spoil anything because I always forget what's actually available to people. Because I could give you all the details of Whisper Nets, but I forget that won't be coming out for like 4 more weeks. So I shouldn't spoil it yet.
Yeah. Another shameless plug I'm going to do because we have time here. So for those who don't know, we run Alternis now runs the Shadowcasters Network. And we are currently converting the Neo-Anarchist podcast into vidcasts. So Opti is going back to the very beginning of all of his podcasts and re-recording them as videos. So you get to like see Opti move around and stuff like that. So it's a short form, like digestible history of Shadowrun lore. So like what has happened in like throughout the period of Shadowrun, since like the timelines diverge between real world and Shadowrun world. So I recommend that. And all of the episodes are on podcasts, but if you want the vidcast, we're on YouTube under the Shadowcasters Network. But, hearing all of this lore that's coming, like I just want Opti to be caught up so that I can hear about all of this stuff on the Neo-Anarchist podcast. And have it all in one place where I can be like, man, I want to hear about the assassination. Man, I want to hear about Detroit. Man, I want to hear about Manhattan. So yeah, you can check it out as well. It's not going to have the most up-to-date stuff yet, but it would be great to have you guys there. Gosh, there's so much Shadowrun history.
There's plenty of cool stuff.
I think that's what was very overwhelming to me as a new player was like the rules were crunchy anyway. It was 5th edition and I had been just playing D&D 5e. So it was very crunchy and it took me ages to learn it enough and I'm still no expert at the rules. I'm like, how do I roll this again? But in terms of the lore, like what's kind of neat is you almost like real life, you hear kind of whispers as you talk to different groups. So like you'll hear whispers about like um uh HMHVV, the vampirism virus and stuff like that, and like that the different meta races turn into different things based on that. And then you're like, ooh, so it's almost like how does that work? And then you can dive into that a little bit. And then you hear this rumor over here about how about the assassination or about the CFD, which I mentioned, which is I can never remember
cognitive fragmentation disorder.
Thank you. So, you know,
cluster frag disorder, whichever you want to call it.
Cluster frag disorder. I like that. It's rough. So you can find out more about that because I just whispered about it. So yeah, hearing all of these different things, like the lore is so rich, but rather than diving into the 50 novels and endless lore books, you know, you can kind of hone in on the stuff that's most interesting to you and learn about it. Though I do highly recommend the fiction because like I just read recently within the past year, Dark Resonance by Phaedra Weldon.
Phaedra knows her stuff.
Yeah, and that was it's about technomancers and like computers are magic to me. So like I don't speak Decker at all, and it really did a good job about of like letting it sink in how technomancers work and what makes them different from Deckers, and talk about the resonance and stuff like that. So if you want like to understand the lore, like pick up those little bits of lore again, but also understand how some of these archetypes work. I really recommend the fiction line. There's a lot of fun in there.
But I'll also give a plug for the Neo-Anarchist Streetpedia. If you want to get an easy way to get caught up on things and dive into some topics, you could just, look up the entry on CFD or look up the entry on some dragons. And it's written in a easy to read, fun style with, probably more jokes than I should have put in there, but I can't help myself.
I think my husband is in the chat. Husband, can you check if we have Neo-Anarchist Streetpedia? Because if not, I'm getting it. Yeah. So we've talked about a lot of Shadowrun. Anything else Shadowrun related that we didn't get to talk about that you would like to?
Well, just because you mentioned how we don't always have the same degree of monsters, we do still have cool monsters and critters. So that's another book coming up later this year, Wildlife, the core critter source book. And I got permission to really go nuts on art for this. So I think we're going to illustrate about 60 critters, maybe more in this book. So we're going to have critter art all over the place. And some of them will be your, biodrones are actually talked more about in Body Shop. So yeah, if you want biodrones, look at Body Shop. I'd talk about the ethics of that. Is it good to program your doggy to do what you want by putting a chip in their brain, or is that mean to the doggy? We'll talk about it in Body Shop.
Awesome.
But lots of good stuff, lots of good critter stuff coming up.
That's neat. Can you like, what are some of the names of some of the critters that we've seen before? You don't have to reveal spoilers, but some of the critters before that we might actually get art for and really be able to visualize.
So we'll get some new Juggernaut art because, of course, you have to get new art of a just massive armadillo rampaging through the desert. I always forget how to pronounce it. The Periton, the kind of deer unicorn. I happened to see the prototype of that art on a computer in my home recently.
Ooh. That's pretty exciting.
Let's see other fun things. The avalanche lynx, the smoke wolf, the Black Forest gargoyle would be there. I think there's like 2 different kinds of gargoyles because you can never have enough gargoyles. I know the Vodyanoi has been in books before, so we'll get an illustration of that.
I'm sorry, God bless you. What was that?
Vodyanoi. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's what I got.
What kind of creature is that?
It is a long frog with a beard. It's like a bearded frog. Yeah, I saw the illustration of this one too. This one was not on a computer in my home, but it was sent to me. It's a kind of bearded frog with human-like teeth. It's really weird looking.
Ooh.
Yeah, neat. But I'm
very excited.
Illustration was nice and creepy, so that's what it needed to be.
Cool.
There's the Juggernaut, the Death Rattle, so awakened Diamondback rattlesnake. Ghost Bear will be in there. Megalodon.
Megalodon, yes.
A new thing called the Wisp Spider. It's a spider that lights up, so it attracts people in forest to its web.
It's like an anglerfish, but on land. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hide it from Bull, too. He won't be able to see it. The Piasma. Piasma's been around for a while, so we'll get an illustration of that.
Does the spider live in Australia? Because I feel like it would come from Australia. That's something horrifying that would come from Australia.
It's a forest creature, so yeah, any forest they have in Australia would live there because it is well suited. But we'll spread it out across the world to send glowy, spidery love.
Great. Super.
And then because our art director specifically requested it, he was saying we have capacity to do like 20 more images, and he requested that we make a combat wombat. Kind of a merger of a wombat and an armadillo with extra legs, like a tardigrade kind of thing.
Was that Brent?
No, that was Ian.
Okay. I haven't gotten to work a lot with Ian yet, but I already don't like him.
Ian's fantastic. You'll enjoy. So,
combat wombat. I'm upset.
Ian is great because he does. We had an Eeyore competition in ShadowRun production meeting a few weeks ago to see who could be the best Eeyore between Randall and Ian. And Randall can be a decent Eeyore, but Ian absolutely dusted the floor with him. There was no competition. He is the Eeyore beyond all Eeyores.
Man, those sound like some very fun and productive meetings.
Oh yeah, we were absolutely on target and making sure business happened.
Definitely. We've got a few minutes left. So since we've kind of talked about fiction a little bit, you have some Shadowrun novels as well out there. Can you talk a little bit about those?
I do. I love them. I'd like to be doing more, but John keeps, not assigning me them. I'm not taking it personally. I mean, one of my favorite books that I've ever written is Hell on Water. And that's whether, Shadowrun, Battletech, non-tie-in. I just love that book because it's nuts. And I tried to do something different and they let me get away with it. So
I had a lot of fun reading that one. That was a really fun one.
It came from when I was, way back when I was editing Feral Cities. So this is, back 4th edition. And they talked about the 6-kilometer or 12-kilometer long bridge in Lagos, Nigeria, and how difficult it was to traverse because some portions of it are breaking down and some are controlled by pirates. And I was like, there could be a whole novel about just trying to travel that whole bridge. So now there is one.
Yep. Now there is one. And I loved reading it dearly. And now that I'm producing the audiobooks, I'm very frustrated because I'm like, how do I find people that can do Lagosian accents?
And as I've said that a lot of the voice, I used to play basketball regularly. I haven't been able to, but for a while I was playing, and it's just like a few adults, but a lot of neighborhood kids would show up. So I was playing with a bunch of neighborhood kids, and there was one kid who was from Nigeria. Ooh. And so he had a little bit of the accent, not much because he'd grown up here, but a lot of times he'd do imitations of his mom. And so a lot of the accent is based on his imitations of his mom.
Oh, that's
just because
funny
when
and
he would
cute.
do his mom, it had the right command in the voice that I wanted the voice in Hell on Water to have.
Yep. Cool. And
Um,
what other novels have you done?
so I wrote Under Shadows, which is my big CFD novel. Just because
That's what it's about. I haven't read that one yet.
it's not entirely about CFD, but it's also is about CFD. The main character has CFD.
Ooh.
So she's trying to live with um this new being in her head.
Mm-hmm.
And the beginning I had a lot of fun with because they've actually kind of established a good working relationship. And the thing in her head has different abilities than she does.
Ooh.
So they're able to trade off. And so the opening scene where she says, okay, right now my abilities can't help. So we're going to let the personality in my head take over this scene and use her abilities to intimidate these people was a fun scene to
Wow.
write. And then things get weirder from there.
Yeah. So I have the book. It's sitting under my coffee table right now. So I'm gonna need to read it. Especially now that I know there's CFD and how it's so near and dear to my heart after what was done to me during our campaign at home. Um, so wow, that's rough and fascinating, and I love it.
That was a lot of fun to write too, and I got to go to weird places again. And again, it was a source book, and this happens a lot. This has happened, BattleTech, Shadowrun, whenever. It's reading a source book where you get an idea, and you want to set a story there. So it was, I think, Angel Towers, if I'm remembering right.
Ooh,
Angel
okay.
Towers Arcology in London that they invented. It was an abandoned arcology, so mainly
Ooh.
taken over by gangs. So I really wanted to have, gang people roaming the halls of a possibly haunted abandoned arcology. So that was fun to play with.
Cool. And are those the only two Shadowrun novels?
From the latest, I did Drops of Corruption years ago, back when WizKids was doing the Shadowrun Duels game. So I
Okay.
wrote that. So that's one of my first novels, but not the first, but my first Shadowrun
And
novel.
you do have other novels that are non-Shadowrun as well that people could find, right?
Yeah, I've got the BattleTech novels. I've got my own standalone novel called The Last Prophecies. And then my wife and I, she came up with a fantasy setting called Ulana Gahi, Ulanigahi. So it focuses largely on Native Americans in the early colonial days of America and has some really fun magic in it, a lot of fun creatures in it. So she just came up with this system, or not this system, the setting, and said, I want to have these creatures and I want to have this sort of magic and I want to have this and this and this. And I was like, well, that's a lot of cool stuff. Can I tell stories about it? And she said, yeah. So we've done 2 novellas so far. One of them is called The Wise One, and the other one is called Kimi and the Missionaries. And so they are both available. I wrote a short story that will be in a book called 99 Fleeting Fantasies that will come out from Pulse Publishing. So the short story that has that setting will be in there. And then we're working on another story that is untitled because right now it doesn't have a good title. But once
Cool.
all 3 of the novellas are out, what I'd like to do is put them together in an omnibus edition and then make that available both as PDF and ebook and print on demand so people can download it. And Kat does the covers of all of them, so they're delightful covers. And
She's a wonderful artist, so
she
please check her
is.
out as well.
So I'm just trying to write stories that live up to her art.
Aw. Oh, we do have one question that I see here in the chat real quick as we wrap up here. If any more of the books for Shadowrun will be released on Roll20.
Yes. Did I not mention that? I'm a terrible promoter. Do you know what I need? Do you know what I need, Rem? I need a sales and marketing person to keep me straight. What I
Well,
need.
do I have news for you?
Yes, Roll20. I should have mentioned that because the core rule book is about to come out on Roll20, and that was the thing I'm really excited about for March. So
Yay!
Sixth World Core Rulebook is almost done. We've been working hard on lots of tokens because there's an unbelievable amount of tokens we need for that book to cover all the gear and weapons and cars and NPCs, but it is almost done. We're just putting the final touches on it. And then the core rulebook compendium will be available on Roll20. And then after that, we'll be working on Firing Squad and Street Weird and the other gear-heavy core books to bring them over to Roll20. So absolutely, there will be more books coming to Roll20. And the core book will be there very, very soon. Should be this month. If not,
cool.
I'm not going to say anything beyond that. Should be this month.
Awesome. All right. Well, last question. Where can we find and follow you to learn more about what you do and watch what's coming?
So ShadowRun6world.com has the blog, so that's where we put up announcements. The Shadowrun Facebook page always has the most up-to-date stuff as well. You can follow Catalyst Game Labs on Twitter if you like, but the Facebook probably has the most detailed information if you want. We have an Instagram site, but I've never used it, so I don't even know what it is.
That's
so
my
those
problem
are
now.
ways. And if you want to just follow my stuff, Jason M. Hardy Writer on Facebook is the best way to get updates there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. It's always fun and easy to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week in Chicago. And we'll have you back for the next announcement, I'm sure.
Thank you very much for having me. And yes, very much looking forward to seeing you in person.
Now stay tuned, RunPCs, because we'll be right back. Don't forget, everyone, that we have a wonderful giveaway of the Astral Ways book, which is the Metaplane book that's new from Shadowrun and Catalyst. And you can get a copy by typing #RemPC in the chat right now to enter to win. And that is a free entry just by typing #RemPC. You can also donate bits. Every 100 bits gets you an extra entry to win. Or you can subscribe to the Gen Con TV channel, which gets you 7 whole bonus entries. So for the cost of 5 entries, you get 7, 2 extra for free. So check that out, do the thing, and stay tuned because coming up next is the monthly one-shot show. And I'm very excited tonight because our team will be playing Blades in the Dark. And it's going to be run by Elizabeth, who is an absolute delight in the REM community. And so stay tuned, support her, support the team, and we'll be back with Rules of Cool next week. Bye, REM PCs.
Can I just ask, what does a summoning tea kettle look like?
Oh, a summoning tea kettle. It is made out of cast iron that has been painted ritually with symbols in blood, obviously, that are then coated and shellacked over so that they don't flake off, that way it can last for centuries. And we use a nice clear coat, though, so you can see them quite nice, quite clear. We mix in, with the blood, we mix in the iridescent paint, so it gives us a nice little beautiful shimmer, especially as it heats up. And as you heat it up, that's where the magic happens, because that is when all of the symbols start to glow and get bright and beautiful. And as the tea kettle whistles, that is the summoning ritual complete.
If you have an interest in using the summoning tea kettle, or taking part in any of the other worlds in our games, you don't have to have experience. Just join our Discord, and the GMs will work with you and help you find a game you enjoy. The link is in the chat.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
Well, she says spell like 92 times.
You get to play with us now, which is so exciting. So with channel points, bits, and subscribes, you can give rewards to the player of your choice. So how to do that is, no, not Bob. Channel points, I believe it is 500 points, gets you NERPs, which is +3 to any dice roll to the player of your choice. For 1,000 channel points, you can do a point of edge to any player. And for 2,500 channel points, you can do 4 edge to the player of your choice. Now for bits, for 100 bits, that's $1, you can do the NERPs. For 200 bits, that's $2, you can do the point of edge. Or for 500 bits, that's $5, get 4 edge to give to the player of your choice. And finally, again, the subs, if you subscribe, you can give 4 edge to any player.
There's people out there. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of ShadowRun Emerald Glitch. Party time. I'm Max, the host for the game tonight, also called the Game Master. Ooh, it sounds so special. I'm special. And I'm from Original Box Set, another channel. Ooh, I'll put a link down there or something like that. And tonight we come back with all of our team, save for one. He's got an emergency. It's all taken care of. We have a support stand-in individual who is not standing in for his character, but is doing the other job of teching. So that's all great. Let's give a big warm applause for our tech guy, Alfred. Yay, Alfred. That's not his real name. It is tonight, though.
Not at all. What's up, Tom?
So, let's get started. I got almost a whole page over here to read, and none of those antics like the last time where I did weird stuff while reading. It's all just straightforward. I'm serious. In the heart of the city's towering skyline, amidst the shadowy corridors of corporate power, our team of skilled operatives prepare to embark on a daring mission. Bum, bum, bum. Tonight, they enter the domain of Hooper Peacekeeping PLC under the guise of a guided tour, weaving through the serpentine hallways with hidden objectives in mind. Their mission to infiltrate the impenetrable citadel of the host, which they tried, but they failed because they weren't strong enough. But now they've decided the digital stronghold can be taken down with a dongle. To answer the most important question, where is Millard? However, this is only the beginning. With the cunning aid of a repurposed butler drone, they must tread lightly, utilizing their stealth capabilities to navigate the treacherous inner sanctum. Every step, every decision carries the weight of the mission's success or failure. The future hangs in the balance as they maneuver through the intricacies of this high-stakes game. Will the odds be in their favor? Actually, technically, they're rolling d6s, and so the odds aren't in their favor because it's only 5 and 6 percentile speaking. Yeah, but that's the name of the game, right? Generally, it's about 40% of the dice come up in your favor. 40. As the sun rises on the sprawling metropolis of Emerald City, one particular avenue stands at the heart of the urban tapestry. A vibrant artery pulsing with life, towering skyscrapers reaching toward the heavens and casting long shadows upon a busy thoroughfare. In the distance, the magnificent space elevator pierces the sky, a towering symbol of mankind's progress and ambition. Its gleaming structure reflects the glistening hues of the rising sun, a beacon of hope, an exploration that stretches far beyond the limits of the world and the imagination. Amidst the symphony of honking horns and chattering voices, a gentle flutter catches the eye. Pigeons, guardians of the concrete jungle, descend from their lofty perches, gracefully alighting upon the pavement below. With delicate steps, they navigate through the urban landscape, their keen eyes scanning for morsels amidst the scattered litter. Like urban archaeologists, they pick through the remnants of human rubbish to find sustenance in the city's forgotten offerings. They quickly scatter as an anthro drone carrying parcels trample through their refuse. "Ma'am," the drone says, "I do not understand. Please explain." Once again, the woman, a young woman in her mid-20s, vibrant in appearance, turns to the drone and says, "It's very simple. Susanna's turning 5. She can appreciate this birthday more than the others. It makes it special to her. We want to make sure that we celebrate the little things because that's what it's like to be a young girl. Celebration and part of things." And he says, and the drone responds, but we have had other moments like this, but there are other people who will be attending. There are so many more gifts. Is it because of the recent increase to your salary? And she goes, no, I could have bought these beforehand, but she'll have a greater appreciation from this time for these things. She responds, yes, of course. Come on, JS. Let's not dawdle. We're about to be at the building, and I want to get the stuff in before she gets done with preschool. The scene changes, but this time, some time has passed. It's not the same day. The drone is now wearing some sort of makeshift outfit, decorated, his face decorated with cosmetics by a young woman as the two of them have a moment. He stares on, decorated with makeup, mascara, and lipstick, as she does the graffitiing. That's a good way to describe it. She laughs and jests about how he now, or JS, now appears so much more beautiful. The young girl is in her earliest part of her teens as she's practicing some of her more womanly skills of decorating herself, and they swap stories, and she leaves the room at some point during this event. And as she's going out, she's in the hallway, and her mother, Angela, calls out, Susanna, what are you doing? Are you getting ready? And she responds, no, I was playing makeup with Jason. Oh, okay, well, we need to get ready to go. That's fine. I'm almost done. I'll be ready soon. You know, he's my special friend. And the mother acknowledges, yes, I know, but we've got to go soon. And something about that, the drone who's just watching the door looks down at his mechanical hands and says the word special. Time more passes, and now she is a woman. And the drone still wanders with her everywhere. And his walk is different. In the beginning, he was clumsy. His feet fell heavy as he moved. But now they're light. Not due to age. Due to something else. Something more magical. Sparkle in his eye has changed. Something in his eye has changed. A sparkle, a glimmer. JS, Zero In, or Jason, as he has been so doubly named, is awake in this sixth world. The front lobby of the Hooper Peacekeeping PLC is kind of nice. They look like fake plants, but they got kind of like that mossy dirt thing going on. And there's these glass walls with waterfalls coming down them. All very, very chic, very corporate-esque, and inviting you in and going, oh, look, we've got all this. This is a really cool place. There's circular seating tables around where it just looks like a big round knob that's sticking up out of the ground and a cushion on the top of it. No back to the seat, no real actual tables, just this cushioned knob coming out of the ground here and there for people to sit and admire their glass wall with water running down it. Across the room, there's the large shield crest that says Hooper Peacekeeping on it. And a cluster of young individuals have gathered in the early part of this day. It's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I would say, when this tour is getting started. Amongst these young individuals, there is a trespasser. One who has hidden the truth and has meandered, what's the word I want to use? Invaded this innocent event. Near the front desk area, its curved desk of wood fake wood and plastic. A woman stands next to a man. Both of them are in business suits. And she says, "Can I have everyone's attention?" Holding up a data pad. "The tour is about to begin. So remember who your tour leader is. And please, let's stick together. Tour A will be going with me. And Tour B will be going with Tori here. So if I can have Tour A come this way, please." You look down at the slip, the data slip that you were given. It has the letter A on it. Catherine leads her group off to one side, and she starts talking about the corporate concept, the corporation's concept of why drones over just a large number of people. And she starts going down the route of why it makes more sense, why it's better, why drones can do so much more. And as she begins going through this kind of like talk, she's leading you guys into another section of this front room, a hallway that leads into maybe it looks like offices and stuff like that, and a small gathering of drones come into the opening. A rotary drone hovers through with flashing lights. You can tell that this is part of a show, an effect as it bobs through, and she pays attention to it. And then a small RV-sized wheeled drone rushes through with flashy lights, red and blue, like a tiny little police car. It's so adorable, but it also has a taser attached to it, which makes it scary at the same time. And it zips around, barking out, "Stop, criminal, stop," in some sort of adorable way that robotic voices can sound. That's not the only two drones, but you get the idea. She is putting on a show, and she's trying to do the best job she can. She laughs if anything goes wrong or a drone doesn't respond the way it's supposed to. And at some point, one of the rotary drones do stop, and introduces himself as Carl, the engineer who's running most of the drones that you will be seeing today. He and his department sit behind the computers, and hopefully later you'll get a chance to see him and all the other guys in action as they work from their command center. And then this voice, of course, comes from this little flashy rotary drone. And so the tour begins, wandering down the gray stone tile floors and the pure white alabaster walls and cookie cutter cubicles that look nice stretch in one large section of this first floor, passed by giant selection of bay windows that show a street of traffic and parked cars. Ooh, that's attractive. Videos show fake scenery every once in a while. No real, just like pictures on the wall. Just it's all TVs, and they alternate between an attractive scene and then an advertisement. At some point, you are amongst this group of people. There are people with you, these other younger individuals. Everybody seems to be having conversation and talking as you guys move about. How would you like to blend in with this group?
I use my great charms with my charisma chip. I think it's like my last one that I have. And I'm just, being awed by things and pointing things out and touching everything that I possibly can. But I'd like to ask, are there any elves in the group?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Is this elf cybered up or not really cybered up? Am I more cybered up than them?
You are definitely more cybered up than them.
Okay.
They have more of a cosmetic appearance to their cyberware.
Do they seem like the type of person who would be easily offended?
I mean, yeah, they look like a hoity-toity corporate elf.
Then that's my target.
Ooh, do tell. Let's see how this is going to work out.
So throughout the tour, I've kind of made little comments like, wow, they kind of let anyone in here. Or like, wow, could use more cybering up maybe, since you're going to work in looking at a tech-heavy place. And I'm really waiting for the perfect moment to drop a specific line.
Very cool. So, since you're doing a build-up, we'll do this like a teamwork roll. You will pre-roll, and how many ever net successes you get will add to your dice pool for the full-fledged attempt.
Okay. So I guess I'll roll some con and charisma, I guess.
Yes.
I would like to spend some edge to bump that 4 to a 5.
Giving you 3 hits. Excellent. I made a total of 4 out of 4 for her perception, so she's very aware of your comments and picks up on them quickly.
Very good. Nova's trying to start a fight, so hopefully this works out.
Yeah, it was, all right. Well, you definitely got her attention, because at the last one, she kind of looks over her shoulder and goes, oh. All right. When do you intend to drop your insult bomb?
Muted.
When we go to the command center, or what was it? When all the... Yeah, when we're in there. That way I have access to things.
All right. You tour through the generic grocery store and the generic cafeteria place, and oh, hey, look, here's a lounge that sometimes people can go and drink some synthahol and stuff like that. Did you want a coffee? So they have a wide variety of other smaller stores up in this place that makes it so very uncomfortable and arcology-like, because that's what this is. But when you finally get a chance to start weaving toward the center of the building and heading up toward several of the like 3rd or 4th floor, is when she announces, as if almost it's magic, all right, everybody ready? We're about to go into the command center. This is a great moment. You get a chance to see how some of the inner workings of the entire place is. And then the drone goes, and you get to meet the real me. Wow, that'll be great. So yeah. Double doors open and lead into a poorly lit room, mostly lit by the variety of different screens scattered about the place. There are a number of crash couch chairs and whatnot around, and some sort of orbital 3D digital display of some sort of hosty-like thing. You think you've seen that on the Matrix once before. You're not sure what you're looking at.
Cool. So I take it all in, and there's just tech everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I look over at the elf that I've been like insulting the whole evening or morning, and I just go, wow, this seems pretty high tech. It's a little too high tech for a dandelion eater like you.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, I'm going to give her
fingers, hoping that she hits me.
I'm going to give her a willpower. Definitely, it's a willpower test. But composure. That's the word I'm thinking of. Composure, which is willpower charisma. Okay, cool. I'm going to get her a composure test. One success. You need 0 successes for her to punch you.
She just says she doesn't do anything?
You need to make your con roll, and you need to get 2 And so that way, we'll say that your hits negate her hit.
There you go. There's 3.
Bam. You didn't even throw in your extra dice, did you? Didn't need to. She becomes infuriated, and the tiny thing takes a swing at you. I don't know. Let's see. It's agility maybe of a 2. Then she defaults because she doesn't have any real skill and makes no successes.
Okay, but I'm allowing her to hit me, so I at least let her touch my face.
Got it.
Or wherever she's aiming for, and I throw my body towards all the tech with the dongle in my hand, and I slot it in.
What skill are you going to use to make this happen?
That would be palming, which I think falls under stealth. So that's what I'm doing.
Right. I'll let you use those 3 extra dice from earlier that you just didn't use for this stealth roll. Smoothly, as you tumble in that direction and land next to a cyber terminal amongst cords and cables, it's not hard to see an open port that's along the side of it, underneath the desk itself. Popping the dongle in there closes off that port, but also allows you to gain access to the host. The man sitting at the desk, or who's in the crash chair, kind of like sits up, looks down, and say, "You okay?"
I guess cablers do have a bite.
Oh, ouch. So he's going to try to help you up, and he seems oblivious of the action that you did.
I let him.
Okay.
And I do what every instigator does in Play Victim.
I hate it, but I love it. I hate it, but I love it. All right. There's an attempt by the tech as well as the leader of the tour to break it up. Calm down. Of course, the elf points to you and says she's been saying terrible things, and you respond with, "It's not my fault," and yada yada yada.
Freedom of speech.
Oh yes, freedom of speech.
Too bad that was abolished 300 years ago. Like, no.
Our Cole, you guys have been waiting. Sorry, Convoy, you guys have been waiting for our Cole to show back up. You got the dongle finished and you sent it off with her this morning, but he has not showed up, nor has he answered any pings. You do not have contact with your decker. And then as you're hanging out waiting with Jason, boom, suddenly the pan pops up saying that the dongle's online. Your pan is now connecting to the host.
Oh, Drek, man. All right. I will send a message out letting everyone know that Arkhol's gone dark. And I guess I'm going to have to try to do this myself, or unless someone else has somebody who can help us.
Not I, my friend. But I have faith. I have faith in you, right? Right? You got this.
All right, man. I don't know if I do.
Do I have to give you the Miyagi palms? Because I will. Like, I'll do the whole like, whatever you need. You need to pick me up. I'll make you some tea. Like what he starts like massaging it. Yeah.
Do you need any noodles from across the street?
You're
good, bro. They were pretty good, not gonna lie.
All right. Well, I don't have any contacts that would get me in touch with a decker at all. So
me neither.
I guess I gotta try. Now's our chance. So I'm gonna see if I can get in and get some information on our target.
This is definitely outside of your experience. getting into drones, managing the matrix, popping around and doing what you do. These are skill sets you have. These feel familiar. You know what those doors and avenues that Deckers use. You've seen them. But they're not the same kind of door that you're used to. So as you are you going to use your phone or your RCC? What are you going to use to start kind of fiddling around with this?
I'm gonna need to use my RCC.
Your RCC does not have any attack or.
Oh, you're right.
Sleeves.
No, I don't.
It does have data
actually,
processing. Your phone.
Yeah, my phone. I'll have to use my phone.
There you go. So.
Don't leave a trace.
Man, I'll try.
This is a note to the viewers that this is the perfect time to donate your bits. Please give the players
Please help us.
Oh God.
Viewers, you are our only hope.
All right. So you're going to need to utilize your ability to do matrix perception, digging through the host looking for what?
Specifically looking for Millard Allen's living quarters.
Matrix perception. I would like at least 2 hits.
Okay, that is logic plus engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
Bam! As the small artificial agent is clicking away, it is adorable in its actions. As you enter into the host and it finishes building an access between the dongle, between your pan, the dongle, and the host, the agent opens the door and you step into the host. The oppressive feeling of the host is very evident, as I'm assuming you're an AR.
Yeah.
Your comm is reading that there is a lot of scans.
I was muted.
There's a lot of scans going on. You're like, wow. The speed at which your comm responds drops down a couple of ticks. And as it's going through, the agent, that tiny little agent, is just like, yeah, no, I got this. It seems to be cycling through all that data, flowing back and forth, gives you the proud thumbs up as you step fully into this environment. Scanning about, looking at the different directions in which the node from this host takes left, right, up, down. What is it? It's all over the place. Drone nodes are pretty simple, straightforward, align. This goes in multiple different directions, and there's signs and codes that you're unaware of. And so you just begin kind of drifting in a direction, and then you see something that looks like a filing cabinet. So you kind of move in that direction, and you fumble around for a minute or two. You don't seem to have what maybe be the access necessary for it. Then you see something that looks like a comm unit in this facilitated central hub. Moving over to it and bringing it up brings up the entire directory for the building.
Ooh, okay. Immediately search for Millard Allen.
It comes up to floor 20, room 75.
Floor 20.
C.
Okay.
C stands for the particular tower in question. So the directory shows you that each tower is labeled A, B, C, and D. D tower is the tower that the drone launching bay comes out of. And the tower at which Millard lives in, or his address that is listed, is the tower to the southeast of that tower, more toward the bay.
Can you download certain things or take screenshots in AR?
Right now, if he has opted, he can have his image link up and running, and then all of you guys could be looking at that.
Okay.
And you could be taking screenshots.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have it up.
Oh, well then, well done, Convoy. See, I never doubted you for a second.
I did.
If I have time.
You don't know if you have time or not. That's the hard part about this. You understand what a code blue is, and you know that an Overwatch is similar to code blue. You monitor radio and stuff like that to see what the HTR and regular security forces are doing. He's got something else that monitors what the low-lying background information is that watches all those people who are the security. And you have zero understanding of how they move.
I do have an Overwatch like program that checks where I'm at.
You want to turn it on?
Is it not on by default?
I mean, it's on my
RCC. Oh, it's on your
my
comm. Oh, it's on your comm.
Baby monitor or whatever.
I've got it on both.
Yeah.
I got my baby monitor on.
Okay.
I want to check where that is and see if I have time to look up one more name.
You do. In fact, it's not registering anything right now.
Awesome. Then I'm going to check out. I'm going to look up Angela.
Sure. Got it.
Yeah.
She is in Tower B, and she is on the 25th floor. By the way, the towers stop at 30 floors. They go all the way up underneath the Emerald City. Sorry.
Did someone get that written down? I'm sorry. I got it.
25.
My kid is in the background. Okay.
Yeah. Does it have a room number?
Yeah, we're gonna say, I don't know, 15. I'm just gonna make that one up.
Okay.
Because I don't have that written down.
Okay.
2515. Okay.
Do you have time potentially to check for any other records relating to our target's name, just to see if he's actually going to be in the room where we hope he is, or could he be in a brig somewhere for doing something he wasn't supposed to? Could he be dead? Could you check for any other records relating to Mr. Millard?
And what building is Nova in at the moment?
She's on the ground floor, so she's amongst like the 4th floor up, and so there's a large squat building that has 4 crazy towers that come off the corners into those high-rising apartment-like places.
Would I assume? Can I assume that there's an entrance facing each of these towers coming from the building she's in, right?
The towers sit on top of the building, so you would get it into the main building and then ride up the towers through elevators on the inside. And yes, you have, Amber Nova has seen that direction and signs that point toward like tower access and labels of tower access for A, B, and probably C.
And could we tell which one she's closest to?
At this point, she's close to D.
D. All right, so
she's closer to D and C right now. She's on that side of the building.
Okay.
More to D.
And our two contacts are in B and C, correct?
Correct.
All right. Do you think you can get away and start heading towards Tower C, Nova?
Absolutely not.
Why? What? We're not ready for that. This is information gathering. Cool your role there, Steel Tiger. We are still in what do they call that? Not retconning.
Fact finding.
Fact finding, yeah. We're
like work
covert ops right now.
You guys told me to be careful outside the arcology. I'm inside narcology right now, and it is worse.
I'm just saying, how was this?
No.
You have no problem starting, WWE in the middle of a...
Yes, I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. You sold that really well.
My pride is broken. I never lose a fight.
Convoy, were you able to find any records relating to Millard?
I'm guessing the file I found is up to date. I mean, they wouldn't have him in a...
All you found was a room listing for the directory.
So that was...
That's it.
But was that a specific search for his room, or was it like a search for just his name?
A search for his room was what I heard earlier. I mean, did I misinterpret that?
No, I was
Well,
searching
no.
for his living quarters. I did specifically ask that.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're supposed to do is send him a message.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to. I just would like to know if there's any other records indicating whether or not he's even still Earthside.
Is there in this directory? Is there contact information?
Yes.
Great. I will take contact information for both of them if I can.
Cool. Got it. I'm not going to make up phone numbers.
I don't. Great.
No phone number.
That is fun.
Any discipline records?
How about an itinerary?
Yeah. Okay. That you can, another 2 on your matrix perception.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna spend 2 edge
to
turn that 4, one of those 4s into a 5. So
success. As you begin, do you want to describe this, or do you want me to describe it?
You can describe it. Go for it.
So as you begin looking around, you get to a place where you're moving from one node where you're at to another. The agent is still with you, and it seems to be following along and assisting you as you do things. And so as you zip through this node to another location, the agent appears behind you. And so you guys kind of start jointly drifting around. Personas and other agents and flows of data are going here and there. With this, you know what you're doing as far as it goes, writing a quick code, and the agent is assisting you. That's how you're making this happen. And you guys come up with an answer, and so it's kind of like, all right, we need to go this way. And so you're in this new node, kind of like looking around, and there are quite a number of data processes taking place. They look like clocks, lots of little circles and wheels that seem to be conjumbled all together, spheres bouncing all over the place. And the agent's like looking around, and finally it points to one of them as if like maybe that's it. And when you move over there and you open it up, yes, you're seeing a lot of information relating around the tech department, research and development. You knew ahead of time that he was a smart individual, but the short program that you wrote guided you to this node, guided you to this process. It doesn't take you long to start kind of like going through stuff. This isn't necessarily Millard's purely information, but some of the stuff that he is working on, when he's working on and stuff like that, which is all data related. He seems to be big into the software aspect. Your baby monitor ticks up.
Okay.
When that happens, the agent is aware of it too. They are unaware or have no ability to communicate with you why this has happened. It would be a knowledge that you just don't know what you just did wrong.
I'm gonna take special note of when he is not working, if he has any like specific downtime or like leisure time.
Yeah, like again, it's not necessarily his specific itinerary. It is the projects that he's working on.
Okay.
Where those projects are located at, what they're being done with, and who's involved with them. That's a large chunk of it. Nothing about his individual itinerary exists at this location. But you do find that most of his work does take place in C Tower. He actually works in C Tower below where he lives at.
Like the floor below?
A few floors below.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So he's probably gonna hopefully at all times be between floors 20 and 25.
Exactly, something along that.
Yeah.
You see from where you're at now, deeper in the matrix, this host, something that looks like security. Not security AIs or security ICE, but a security node.
And that's it for me. I'm not gonna risk it. I do not have the skills or the software to
security to have access to cameras.
Oh, security would have access to cameras. Oh, I see. I'm on board. Okay.
I'm not saying go do that. I'm telling you this would be something that you would want to have access to.
Okay, yeah, then I gotta do it then.
All right. You and the agent enter into this next node. There is ice here. You have no idea how to identify these things. They look like strange, octagonal, flat-faced, perfect-shaped, anthroformed, Tron-like reject things. But they're here. And there are also other files and locations. Utilizing the same program that you just got finished writing, it directs you to another clock-like sphere of gears that is turning, identifying Millard.
Looks important to me.
Says a small voice in your ear, since they can see what you see.
All right,
I'm getting dizzy.
What do I gotta do?
I think this is where like the X or the A icon, depending on your control, like depending on your computer or your game system, would be like, here, click this.
Yeah.
It seems to have intuitive, interactive kind of like motions as you move up to it. It produces AR-styled interactions for you that are shaped like hands. So like you can see where your fingers would go, where you could manipulate.
All right, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna try to.
You're able to open it up.
Like a filing cabinet.
No, it looks like the building. And in the building, there are hundreds and thousands of tiny little red rectangles shaped like cameras that have a little V sticking off of it. Touching one of them, you see the lobby. Touching another one, you see a hallway.
You have camera access.
Yeah.
Your Overwatch ticks up.
All right.
So
okay.
20 to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give us a quick like floor plan so we know where we're going or something along those lines?
Definitely gonna check the floor he lives on.
Okay, hold on a second. When I said earlier, this was actually her.
25 is her.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
20.
15 floors 15 to 20 in Tower C.
Okay. Which one do you want to start at? 15 or 20?
I want to start at 20.
Boom, you're looking into some hallways. You are able to zoom into that section of the building. As you do so, you can see there is a decent amount of cameras all over the place. There's also cameras what look to be in living quarters, and room 75 has at least 3 in it.
He has cameras in his room.
He has cameras in his house, his apartment.
I mean,
check it out.
I gotta check it out.
Boom! You pop it open. The front room seems to be dark and cold. There's a lot of technical devices here and there, and not a lot of furniture, not a lot of magazines, not a lot of interactive devices. It's just a bunch of tech stuff laying around, tools, bits and pieces and parts. You see cyber arms, multiples, laying on a table, a variety of decent degrees of state of disrepair or repair or being put back together, one of which you recognize right off the bat as being something that looks pretty damn expensive, but somebody would have to have like a skill set to identify that. A lot of tech all over the place. The room is fine, of course very cold. You look into his bedroom. There isn't a bed in the bedroom. There's a large cylinder. Metallic glass cylinder, one of those ESP things. It's modified. It does not look like it has the necessary cushions and everything to put a person into. It's smaller than it should be on the inside.
You've never seen an ESP device before?
I've seen an ESP device. It's different, right?
Yep. You notice near the ESP device some sort of drone charging station. You recognize this as a type of anthro drone charging station which allows a spider-like drone to attach to. Then you see attached to that charging station a pair of manipulator arms that would allow the drone to be picked up and moved.
Are we even looking for a person at this point?
Oh my god, Max!
The drone was Millard Allen all along.
No.
No.
I guess I'm looking at a camera and not looking at the Matrix view to have to. Okay.
You were in the Matrix looking at a screen in the.
Right.
And again, your Overwatch has ticked up 2 more times.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable being in here any longer. I don't think I can stay in here any longer.
That's okay. Let's regroup.
There's just a number. It's like what, a single digit number. You don't. Do you even know what it means?
That's the danger.
No, I don't. That's the problem.
I think it's Max's. Like, is it 30?
What's your? Yeah, I can't remember. What's like? What range are we working with? This is my lack of knowledge.
Yeah, you would need to make some sort of memory test to remember what Arkol spoke about.
Oh, use memory, sure. This will give me an edge because it uses intuition too.
There you go.
Look at that.
Ooh.
The number is 30.
Okay.
30. Okay. Then I'm gonna stick.
You have 8.
Okay. I'm gonna stick around a little while longer.
Okay.
But my what I'm using, it does not have a very powerful build, so I'd rather not.
Okay. So
thing.
far his apartment is practically empty except for a bunch of like arms and a not even a bed, just a bed for like what? There's or like a charging station. Are we sure that this guy is even human or alive? Is he like Nova, who is half robot? I don't know.
Whoa. Excuse me. This is normal.
Do you need sleep? Do you have to eat and stuff? Because I'm confused.
I mean, we still eat. But so she had to, I mean, they just have a charging station with, you said that there was like a mechanical spider thingy that has mechanical arms or something on it. Is that what you were describing?
Well, he said that like
the station has arms, right? Or no?
Yes, the charging station has arms. And the station is a charging station for some sort of spider-like drone.
Okay. And well, then so that's not the same thing as the cylinder.
Correct. The station sits next to the cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what that thing is? The cylinder?
Absolutely not.
It's one of the ESP cylinders.
It's an ESP. It's
but it's modified.
So
is Millard a gnome or a dwarf?
No, he's human, isn't he?
No, he's a human, according to the brief.
According to the brief, but the ESP device is shorter than what a typical human would allow for, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely been modified.
Okay.
Maybe it is possible that he is a missing part of himself so that he cannot run away.
They took his legs.
Maybe.
Maybe he's trying to figure out how to turn some of these arms into legs.
Did they crank in this man?
That's why I was looking for, like, punishment records or, like, reprimands.
Okay.
If you can even access that, probably not.
Do you want to try again? I'll let you do another search, but something like that's going to be a little bit more buried. You're going to need 3 hits this time.
He's just the head in a floating tank.
Stop, Chris! No!
All right. Hate it. I mean, here's the thing. This is going to change our plan big time. So
yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll try one more time. Let's do it.
3 is the message.
Sorry. There was a grocery store in the arcology, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Boom! Do you want to describe this, or do you want me to?
Oh, please, you do, because
All right. So, as you look to the agent and you're looking at all this stuff, and you look to the agent and communicate, I need to find if there's disciplinary records. I need to find his record. And so the agent helps you rearrange the search for Millard and add in some keywords that will help. And the two of you all get the program together, activate it, and it starts pointing into a different direction, down a different node, away from this section of security. This will be great. Get away from these scary ICEs that are just like staring at everything. But it takes you farther into the host, leaving you behind, away from the security. You enter into the data processing section. Huge vaulted ceiling, walls in all directions. Data slates float around, giant storage units slowly drifting down toward some sort of black effervescent mist toward the ground. You have no idea, but it's like raining slow pieces of data in some sort of beautiful collection. And it doesn't take long before this program begins zipping and guiding you through. A piece of data appears on a slate. When you access it, it's pretty much just like tapping a piece of glass, and it begins talking to you. And it seems almost intuitive. Every time you tap it, it just seems to know what you want and show it. Yes, he has tried to escape beforehand. Yes, he has had some punishment due to this. He is a brilliant mind, and they have definitely the words that catch your attention are forced rehabilitation. It's linked to a medical file. They forced an operation upon him. Do you want me to tell you what it is, or can you guess?
I think I can guess.
Okay.
They just take away his legs?
Yes. They took away his legs and his arms.
Does somebody just
He doesn't leave his room.
carry him around?
He has a torso, though, right?
The medical file does say he has a torso.
Torsos have to eat.
There you go.
Which is why he's in the device.
Yeah, send him a message that he needs to get groceries when it's raining.
But he's not getting groceries.
Someone has to get it.
He's jumping into a drone to go get him picked up. He's not going anywhere. I don't think he leaves his room.
We're gonna have to send him a message and ask him where he can go.
The ESP device means he doesn't need groceries. The ESP device feeds you.
Wow, tech has gone so far in 40 years.
Yeah, they're dangerous though, man. You gotta
So
be
he
careful with those.
He can't meet us anywhere. We're gonna have to go directly to him.
Okay.
Your Overwatch meter has clicked into the double digits.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna need to breach and then make our way up there.
Yeah, can you guys map out the shortest exit routes? And then I think from there we can probably figure it out, right?
Yeah, I'm going to say in this effort, you can get a copy of the insides of the building, both like fire emergency exits and stuff like that, what it would entail to, where the stairwells are, elevators and stuff like that. This should be copy pasta. He can grab as much, because between 12 where he's at now and 30 is a great distance, and every file he copies just ticks it up by 1. So,
question.
Yeah.
Did they, in his medical rehabilitation records, did it have anything relating to like a kill switch implant?
Yes.
Fuck. I mean, that was my one. Okay.
They can turn off his access to drones. They implanted an RCC into him, which allows him to hook up to his specially modified drones that allow him to be mobile through the building.
But they can't like turn it on and flood him with a neurotoxin and kill him.
No, nothing in his medical
that's-
file says that he has a suicide button. All he has is an off switch, which turned him into a big metal meat log.
Okay, cool. So he's gonna fit in a duffel bag.
Yeah, all right. So,
We're gonna be fine. We just have to go get him, put him in the bag, get in the elevator, get out.
I'm gonna get the dimensions of the ESP device. Like how big?
Well, if they got, I'm guessing that his RCC is implanted. If they brick that thing, that can kill him.
True, false?
Okay. So I would suggest that we figure out a way to either block signals coming to his RCC, or one of us becomes a surgeon really quick and takes it out of him. Because
no, you make the duffel bag a Faraday cage.
What?
You
No, I like your thinking. I like your thinking, though. Hold on, that might work.
Get a bunch of chicken wire and just line the inside of the.
A Faraday cage prevents signals.
Yeah, chicken wire would work for a Faraday cage.
It would? Like.
Yeah, no, seriously, a duffel bag with chicken wire on the inside would create a Faraday cage. You would also get a better opportunity with those, those little tags, you find them in a book, and it's like the little spirally thing of metal?
Yes.
Those two, you can get them in gigantic sheets. It's a little bit more flexible, doesn't cut into you like chicken wire does, you horrible people.
No.
I mean, he's just a torso anyway. Wrap him in leather.
Just throw him over your shoulder and walk out. That's all. It's just.
I think we should just get a jammer. That's an old school way. Maybe might work.
It's a spitball in here. I'm getting dizzy. I've been in AR for too long, y'all.
Okay, all right.
Y'all about to be on your own.
So we get a jammer. We put it in the bag. All right.
And then you stick Millard in the bag.
I already feel bad about putting this man in a bag.
We didn't take the man's. We did not take.
Listen,
he asked us for help. This is what we're gonna. This is what we gotta do to help and get paid. This is what we're gonna do.
Is he on wheels?
No, he has spider legs that they're gonna shut off. Like as soon as they realize.
No, leave all that behind. We can get him new stuff when we get him out of there and get his thing turned off. Like. All we need is the guy with his torso and head intact, and get him out, and then the rest, don't worry about all the rest of that stuff.
Hey, Convoy, your butler. Could we have your butler's legs?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know how to attach them to a human.
Ooh. I mean, isn't it just like the red wire goes to the red wire and the yellow wire goes to the yellow wire? And that how that works?
I'm not trained in cyber bioware, so that is not.
Wait, when are you talking about attaching legs?
To get him out, right? That's the thing.
No,
I thought we decided that we're just going to carry him.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the butler can just carry him.
You can't just pick him up and carry him out. He needs to be hidden for us to get him out of there.
Yeah.
You can't walk past everybody with him just hey, see you later, guys. They'll top off they'll just cut out his stomach next or something. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
They really will put him in a head. They'll make him a head in a jar. We got to be sneaky about this. Honestly, he'll be fine.
Steel Tiger, do you have access to a bulletproof bag or something?
Shino probably could get you access to one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Soko? Soko?
Yeah. We could probably make that happen.
Okay, if we can get a bulletproof duffel bag, I'll carry the dude.
Nice.
Alrighty.
He can't weigh that much. Now.
Yeah. How much does he weigh?
I can lift an orc and a troll. We're fine.
Yeah, 50 pounds.
I mean, it's not always about the bag might be able to withstand a bullet, but if he's if his torso is I don't know, 150, I mean, duffel bag should be fine.
You'd have to be. I mean, I don't know about that, man. I think it's gonna be fine.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Nova's got this.
I'm gonna try to track down a.
Hold on. I might have an option too.
You'll need to do a charisma plus yeah, it's just a charisma influence. If you don't have that, it's just going to be default to your charisma. Awesome.
3.
Okay, 1 second. Actually, more than 1 second, but just give me
a moment. What was that roll for?
Tracking down a bulletproof bag.
Yeah, bulletproof bag. Doo-be-doo-be-doo-doo-doo.
And you should have plenty of jammers laying around. Even though apparently you don't know how to use them. And now we have to do this whole train thing on the side.
Boom. Look at that.
Oh, the Rigger probably does know how to use them. It's just that the cyber ninja didn't turn one on and he got ambushed and kidnapped the first game session.
And then he still didn't turn it off. And then they showed up again.
Ooh.
Well, now that's not fair. That's not fair. The second time was on our Decker.
Okay. That's true.
We'll have you know
That's
that I have been running in silent since that happened.
Yeah, you have.
First time, shame on me. Second time, shame on the Decker.
No wonder he ain't here to show his face. He's scared.
Let's see. Okay, so you reach out to Soko, and he responds, "To see you, Sugina. So good to hear from you. Why do you need a bag? Are you moving stuff?
You could say that.
Are you working behind my back?
I mean,
we are a team. We always work together.
I mean, this is true. Yeah, actually, yeah, you have business with Hooper Technologies, right?
No. I know of them, and I do not have anyone on the inside.
Okay. All right, cool beans. Have you heard of anything going on with what was the projects that that Convoy was looking at that Millard was working on?
You lay out some names, and he would acknowledge. He's just like, yeah, I've heard of stuff like that. You got some pay data on that?
Not yet, but as soon as I figure something out, I'll let you know about it.
He says, if you can get me pay data on that project, at least those last two you mentioned, I'll make it worth your while. I have friends in Japan who would like to see those drone pilot programs.
Sounds good. Yeah. In the meantime, can you send me over a bulletproof duffel bag?
Yes, I do have two of them. One of them is currently being used to store explosives, and the other one currently is being used to store a bunch of guns at a bus stop. I'll send you a link location. Hang on to the rest of the stuff. The bags are yours to do what you need with. And he pings you with an address. And also a promise of more new yen as he drops 500 new yen on you and says, get me that pay data.
Alrighty. Until next time.
Till next time, Shinyu.
I Psycho. Yeah. Bye. Boop. And then
boop it is.
Boop. Hey, Convoy.
Yes, sir.
You wouldn't happen to scoop some of that pay data about some of the Allen projects, did you?
Nah, man.
Isn't he still in there?
Yeah.
Go get it.
Did you?
I have to take a, I have to exit AR. It's
All right, you leave the conversation. The
Yeah,
tour is going along peacefully at this point in time. You and your nemesis are on the other side of the teams and whatnot, and you hear over the comm that this, the conversation, someone's leaving, someone's mentioning something about pay data, and she shows you a holographic statue of a guy, and she's talking about this guy. He's important in some way. He was down in Pueblo when things were going on. And out of the side of your eye, you see a man come through, and he only has treads. He does not have legs. He has arms. He's just a torso and arms. And he's currently pushing like a cart. It's kind of long-legged treads, but you can definitely tell you're like, this guy seems a little bit downtrodden, and he pushes his cart like away from people, and he's going down the hallway and whatnot. So whatever Millard went through, this is normal for them. You were saying... Go ahead.
I feel sad, and that is my response.
Okay. You were saying something about payday to convoy. Didn't want to cut you off, but I did want to make sure I get that point out there about this is normal for them.
I mean, if I'm in the low teens.
Yeah, 14, 15.
You're not even halfway there. You don't
give
even
it a
have
shot.
to put on prayers.
All right. You head back through a couple of nodes, back to where that data file is at. Passing through the security node does cause your Overwatch to tick up. Getting back over to that file location isn't hard since you and the agent already know everything that's going on. And opening it up, you begin copying it. The second you start copying it, your Overwatch begins racking up very quickly. I'm going to roll some dice over here.
Okay.
And I need you to make an edit file roll.
Okay. I don't think I have that on my sheet. That's
well. Then let's look it up real quick.
Logic plus probably electronics is my guess.
It says electronics plus logic versus the intuition firewall of the site.
This isn't going to go well.
All right. What I rolled was the spider on detail. Congratulations, due to a bunch of other stuff, you ended up with a minor spider on detail. This person is a junior. They only have 6 dice.
That's more than I got. Does anyone want to get an edge?
They got 1 success.
how much. I mean, okay. Question about edge. I still have 3 on my sheet, but that's from like the last thing. Does it reset back to my natural edge?
Yes.
Okay, so I only have 1 right now.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it didn't reset until like after a job.
You have your edge, which is like a large container that has a volume in it. And as you do things, you get more edge to add to it, but those disappear quickly to go back to your initial.
Oh, okay. In that case, I have.
Can I do anything with my 1 to like help out? No.
Not that.
That's okay. If it resets, like I have a pretty high edge, so it would fill up for me. So that means I have more than I originally had down. All right, we'll do this.
All right, do it. Drum roll 2.
Whoa!
Do you want to describe what happens next? Come on, give it a shot.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm editing the file. What I imagine is my avatar or my what's it called? My
persona.
icon. My persona. Thank you. My persona just it looks like an 18-wheeler. Just like and it just through as it like just runs over the file. That's the image that you see.
This little 18-wheeler trucking across instead of like a spinning dial. It was a dear, like a loading screen thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. As you pull that file out and begin dumping it, it hits the dongle like a Mack truck hitting a small roadway. It is so much larger than that tiny dongle. Both you and the agent are staring at it as it goes, and it gets stuck there, and the file begins breaking down and just loading slowly. And the agent looks to you like, what the hell are you doing? This creates some sort of feedback in the area, and processing starts picking up for the entirety of the host. The spider on watch doesn't notice it. Your Overwatch still goes up, though, to 16. But nothing happens.
Nobody can see Convoy, but he's just like, just dripping sweat as like, he's using his AR gloves to like go through this.
Oh, so are we setting wise just all in our separate did we meet back up at the tea shop before we started all this recon?
I'm assuming Convoy's in Mama Bear, wherever she's parked at.
Well, I was back in my garage because I was fixing.
So he's at his garage. So okay. I mean, you guys are wherever you're at.
Okay.
And with that, I think it's time that we take a break.
Yes. So tonight we are giving away a PDF copy of Shadowrun 6e book, Astral Ways, to help you dive deeper into the meta planes. Just type in #RemPC in the chat to gain 1 entry. You get an additional entry for every 100 bits you donate to us. And if you subscribe, you get 7 entries. The winner will be announced tonight at the end of the episode, and you'll be reached out to in your Twitch whispers. So stay tuned, and we'll be back soon.
Can I just ask, what does a summoning tea kettle look like?
Oh, a summoning tea kettle. It looks It is made out of cast iron that has been painted ritually with symbols in blood, obviously, that are then coated and shellacked over so that they don't flake off, that way it can last for centuries. And we use a nice clear coat, though, so you can see them quite nice, quite clear. We mix in, with the blood, we mix in the iridescent paint, so it gives us a nice little beautiful shimmer, especially as it heats up. And as you heat it up, that's where the magic happens, because that is when all of the symbols start to glow and get bright and beautiful. And as the tea kettle whistles, that is the summoning ritual complete.
If you have an interest in using the summoning tea kettle, or taking part in any of the other worlds in our games, you don't have to have experience. Just join our Discord, and the GMs will work with you and help you find a game you enjoy. The link is in the chat.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
Everybody, we're back. Hey. So the tour is coming to an end. It only lasts about an hour and 15 minutes. And in that time, the dongle has done its job. There's no reason to go back for it. You can't. It's gone. Hopefully it won't lead to some sort of moment where they figure something out. They probably figure it out, but hopefully it'll be too late.
The long dongle, like it.
So it's just
we needed it because he had the thing on there. The Mac truck.
No, it's sending the data. It's wireless.
Oh.
It sends it, yeah. And so, Convoy, you got out with those files, 2 of those files.
I mean, as soon as I get out with everything I got, that's it. As soon as I get any of that pay data, I'm gonna go and immediately try to scrub, clean my Overwatch score down, bring it down.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you deal with that. We're just gonna say that you begin working on it. No need to actually do dice rolls. I'm sure you can buy successes until it's all fixed. Especially if the young spider who is watching isn't really paying attention. So that's to your benefit. Amber, where does your character go after stepping outside of Hooper Peacekeeping?
I head to the bus stop and then I get off at a stop nearby STs and then I walk my way there in a really weird pattern.
Okay.
Oh,
Rachel, what about you?
I am still in my apartment. Took some anti-nausea after that AR nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get ready to head out and meet up with the gang.
Okay.
Are we ready for that? I mean, are we meeting up and doing some, what do you call that?
ShadowRunning. It's called ShadowRunning.
Okay. Well, yes, but also, I guess, just further planning our stuff. Because I don't really have, anything I really need to bring with me or nothing.
And it's been almost 24 hours for that spell to...
Mm-hmm.
So you're ready that way.
The air spirit thing, he just went...
Right.
He's gone. So
you're ready.
I know how to do the mask thing now.
You got it. And you got the codes. You got the drone. You got the stuff. You got the location. What are you guys waiting on?
For it to get closer to the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to wait. So do you still want to try to get a message to Miller?
Oh my god, we did all that and forgot to send a message. Please send a message to him saying we're coming.
We still can. I've got the information.
Oh, thank God.
The message thing, I feel like is a little more dangerous knowing now what we know.
It's kind of irrelevant now. We know he can't, we're not relying on him to move anywhere. We know where he is. We just put him in a bag and leave.
I still feel like a courtesy would be nice to just be like, hey, the rain is coming. And I think that's obscure enough.
Right, but are they
sure.
if they're willing to chop off his arms and legs, aren't they willing to monitor all of his incoming messages and whatnot? It's not like you can send a raven.
Actually, you could send a raven. That's kind of why I thought you got Angela's number. Susanna's mom's
number. Is she trustworthy?
We don't know.
We haven't vetted her at all.
I thought we were just doing that because you're feeling sorry for this drone boy over here and want to get him reconnected.
Well, that was the deal. So
yeah.
But it also it would help us not be flagged if we can have the message coming from there, right?
From her?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that she's not just gonna turn us in immediately and put everybody on high alert?
Okay, let's just go professionally kidnap a person.
Yeah, let's do it.
What we can do, if we need to, is take Jason and, if we need to do like the Indiana Jones swap thing, right? Like we have to leave, like we take Miller, but leave something else in his place so they don't notice right away. Do a little quick swappy thing, and then he can go find Diana or whatever her name is. Suzanne.
Susanna.
So are you suggesting we make a paper mache torso or something and just
No. Just leave the drone in the building unless he's going to turn us in.
Question: does physical mask only operate? Like, does it only work on metahumans, or can it work on objects?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I don't know. I can only do 2 at once.
It says sometimes you don't want to be seen, other times you want to be seen as someone you are not. Mask is for the latter. The spell changes the critical characteristics of the person, their appearance, their sound, their scent, and so forth. Roll sorcery plus magic and record the number of hits. Those are the hits used as a threshold when people try to see through the illusion, which requires a willpower plus intuition. Mask affects only living, sentient beings. Physical mask affects cameras, microphones, and other technology.
Well, okay, but that means the effect of whoever's looking at them, not like I'm not putting a mask on a camera. It's just
that's
whether or not the camera can see through it.
Correct. And again, the spell changes the characteristics of the person.
Mm-hmm.
So a person is what it works on.
A living person.
No, doesn't say a living person. It says a person. It doesn't have to be alive. It's just a person.
It says, well, so when he said the living thing,
that was for the mask spell, which is the lesser version of it.
And that's who, like,
someone perceiving the other person who has the mask spell on.
So I can't mask the robot.
No, you could mask the robot.
Yeah, with paper mache.
Is the robot considered a person?
Yes, because he's sentient.
Okay.
Then yes, then boom, goes the dynamite, as they say, or said hundreds of years ago.
I thought it was only 100 years.
Well, since he's sentient, I guess we're gonna have to ask him if he's okay with being Millard Allen and then being there for the rest of forever, so that he can be with Suzanne or whoever, right?
Well, it's not necessarily
not forever.
It'll wear off, but by the time it wears off, we'll be long gone.
Then he can go do whatever he wants.
That's his problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's got access, so he can go pretty freely about.
So I think we just need him to pretend to be Millard Allen until we get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not even necessarily. Like, unless we do need an Indiana Jones swap. But
Well,
if
you're
we
going to brought up the Indiana Jones swap. I'm just trying to find a solution.
Right. That would be a solution to that if needed. Yes. I just don't know if that's going to be needed because I'm going to have to physical mask. Well, you, since you're carrying him, and then maybe one other.
How far down is it? Like, is his room again? He's in like the 20th floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How many feet from the ground is that?
Roughly 2,000.
Roughly 2,000 feet.
What? 200.
200. That's better. Each floor is 1,000 feet. Big buildings. Everyone's a giant.
Just to note that I consider taking free fall as a skill or like a trait or whatever, and people laughed at me. And I think that right now would be a really great time to have it.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier, like, could we not just jump out of a window or something? But I don't even know if the windows would be able to open. You'd have to bust it out.
That's why we have guns.
I am strong. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
As long as he doesn't hit the ground and just perish immediately.
So, you guys are going to break in during the raid tonight.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, but who are we sending are we sending anybody other than Nova? Because I can sustain one physical mask and still have the ability to throw other spells. Or I could sustain 2 physical masks and not be able to do anything other than that.
I'll definitely go in.
Is there a reason?
Back up.
I mean,
good.
Get the meat going in to pick up the meat. Right. So, the next question I have is, what doorway are you guys going to use to get in? Are you going to use one of the front doors with the drone's maglock? Are you going to go to a one down in the parking lot kind of area? Are you guys going to look for employee access? Give me an idea what kind of door you want to use. Or are you guys going to get a flying drone and go through the D Tower?
I'll win.
Yeah, I vote we rappel down the elevator shaft. We just turn off elevator, and we grab another Allen in a duffel bag and just slide down the elevator to Mama Bear.
Well, that's how to get out. How we get in.
Yeah, do you have a flying vehicle to get us up there?
Oh no! I mean, we just we go in the old-fashioned way, like through the door that we have a key to, and then we can climb up. We could climb up 20 flights. Or...
Of course, but the question is, what kind of door do you want to go in?
I think employee, right? Butlers would go through employee, or no, like servant. Is there a servant's access thing?
Yes.
That would make sense for a drone to go through the servants' quarters, maybe.
Is that what I'm...
Works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So around 9:40-ish at night, you guys make your way back over to the Hooper Peacekeeping Building, and with, of course, Jason this time. And when you pull out front, to drop everybody off, Jason looks out the window at the buildings and the 4 towers, and he looks longingly out the window at it, like somebody coming home after a long time.
Now, Jason, we made a deal here, so we're going to get you back. I was able to figure out where Angela is, so you're going to be able to get back to him, but we have a deal. I need you to get my friends to where they need to go. And then you'll be in then. But this is a little weird because usually I don't have to worry about this, but you seem to be a bit special. So
he'll smile at that.
I'm hoping that we can trust you after we're gone. Because we don't get in trouble for bringing you back if that might get us in trouble. You understand?
He pauses for a moment. A recollection crosses through his digital mind as he remembers getting people in trouble. I do understand. I won't do that. I promise. And then he does something very peculiar. He extends his left hand with only his smallest digit sticking out in a slight curve.
This is the sacred pinky promise.
All right, man.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
All right,
Terrible day for rain.
Oh, so many layers on that statement.
Oh my gosh.
Love you, Leonard. You guys step out of the Mama Bear, and at this point in time,
what?
You're not stepping out. You're casting a spell.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't done anything yet.
We need to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so
We'll
let's
do that.
Let's do that. You can either roll or buy successes if you want. What's your sorcery plus magic?
Huh? My sword. What?
What's the sorcery?
Yeah. That's 11.
And then this is spell casting, so don't
Yeah.
forget you add 2 into that.
13.
So you could buy 3 successes on each casting, or you can roll dice and hope to get more.
How do I pay?
For every 4 dice that you have, you get 1 automatic. Or you roll the dice. You know, automatic successes are just easier.
How much do they cost? Like, are you talking money?
No.
So
that was one of those parts of the beginning of the ShadowRun book that I kind of said, hey, read these pages. When you go to do a check for a skill, you can choose to get automatic wins instead of actually rolling the dice. That's it. The automatic wins are based off every 4 dice you have, you get 1 success for the attempt.
Okay. So,
or you can go for glory, just let them go
and roll your dice.
What's my success threshold?
It doesn't matter how many successes you get. That determines how strong your spell is and how well people will see past it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you want as many successes as you possibly can get on both rolls.
Okay. Well, if I only have 13 dice and it's one for every 4, that would only be 3 successes if it's forced or bought.
Correct.
Which is not great.
Nope.
I'm just gonna roll it.
All right. That's cool.
All right. Steel Tiger, who you want to be? What you want to look like?
I share the images of the 2 tour guides today.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, do we have screenshots from that? It's
Tori and Karen.
Tori and Karen. Okay. Are we doing rock, paper, scissors for who gets to be Tori and who gets to be Karen?
It matters not to me.
Okay. Nova, do you have a preference?
No preference.
All right. Okay. So it is plus magic.
Do these forms have like name tags on them so can I just look down and be like, oh, I'm Tori or Karen or
I'll tell you. You can be Tori.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Tori. All right.
Okay, so that I had to check off the specialization box under physical mask to make sure it rolls correctly. I had to go through last time and change all of the stuff in my spells because they were kind of like wonky, so I was worried like, oh, this is not going to roll correctly. But let's see if this works.
All right. Good luck.
Modifiers? None. Stop. The box.
There you go.
And then I have to read
7
this drain.
successes for Tori. Congrats.
All right, Miss Tori.
That's really good.
And I resist drain on each spell, right?
Yes. So you need to roll versus that 4 because you need to knock off at least 2 of that so that it will not give you penalties on this next roll.
Okay, hold on a sec. Oh my god.
Convoy, scale of 1 to 10. How do I look?
You mean on like how attractive you are, or just like how convincing it is?
Yes.
Yes.
6.7.
Okay.
Ain't bad. All right, I got no drain from that one.
Great. Let's go ahead and get the last roll out of the way. Let's see how good
It's only a 3 for
Karen looks.
Karen.
All right.
It's not looking so good. I don't know.
I don't have edge. I got 1 edge.
Can I give her 2? Can I spend 2 to give her 1?
Well, she can cancel this current one and then attempt it again, but she still has to resist that drain.
Okay.
So you don't have to edge and stuff like that. You can just be like, I cancel this spell, I save versus that drain, and then I cast the spell again because I didn't feel it was very good.
Okay.
You can do that, yeah.
I'll do that. I'll try it again. Sorry.
All
right. But I got a little bit of drain.
So you now have 3 stun, which gives you a -1 modifier to your dice pool. So you go from 13 to 12 dice now.
That's still pretty good.
I just want to note to the crowd that we almost got a glitch out there, and it's could have been worse.
It's way worse. 4. That's okay. It's 4.
There we go. 4.
All right. It's not terrible. Let's see what we got. Okay.
All right.
Still a little shaky, but I'm working on it. Does anybody have some water?
There you go.
Oh. All right, Karen. All right, Tori. Looking good, ladies.
That'll be 150 new yen.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry.
All right.
So 4 is like fine.
Yes. I would need someone who has a perception of 16 dice just to buy a successful acknowledgement that spell is active, or somebody would have to have like a dice pool of 12 to 14 to have a decent chance to be able to hit 4. Okay. So, yes, that's good.
Okay.
All right.
So, these are my 2 sustained spells. I'm going to stay here in Mama Bear and do my best to maintain the magic. Can't really do much else. Remember that there are some like magical things happening in astral space. Just don't draw any attention to yourself. Okay? No more fights. Turn off your phones. Just get it done, y'all.
All right.
I will do as
make sure.
I'll try to vibe, I guess.
Combo, do you think you can watch us from cameras, or would that be too much?
I'll bet Jason let me take a look. Yeah. Or, actually, and I will reach into my center console and I will pull out this tool belt. I'm like, if you want, you can just pull this on, and I'll be able to tag along that way. Just don't lose it. It's expensive.
You got the duffel bag, right?
Yep.
Of course.
Okay.
And in that tool belt, there is a directional jammer. And there is, since you're going in through the sideway, I don't think you have to worry about this, but there is a lockpicker. Or you already have one of those.
Oh, yeah, I have a lockpicker, I have a sequencer.
Okay, never mind. And I won't give you that. I'll give you just the directional jammer, but say you can put the rest in there if you want.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is actually a drone that I'm handing them.
Cool. Make sure you don't run into the real us.
You don't think any of the employees go home for the day?
They live there on the archaeology.
Yeah, stay away from that place. And the cafeteria.
Jason is eager to head for that door. So as soon as he realizes that you are heading that way, he, light-footed as a anthro drone can be, makes his way to the door. A few other late-night drones and service employees are milling through the area as well. Maybe no more than 2 or 3. He heads toward an open archway that is tucked behind a loading dock ramp. And as he approaches it, there is an obvious ID scanner. Are your guys' IDs on or off?
I would turn mine off if I'm assuming someone else's identity.
And Amber?
Yes. Actually, before we go through, King Convoy, can you spoof our IDs? we need to be constantly admitting a sin, otherwise we'll get tagged for not having one.
Ooh. Correct.
Quick, ST, turn yours back on.
I might be able to. I don't know if this falls underneath. I do have a spoof command, but I don't know if an ID would count as a sort of thing.
It's not. It's an edit.
An edit?
It's an edit again.
Okay. I will give it a shot if I can.
Ooh, I have an idea. Rhea, I'm sorry, but you might need another headache. Could you turn us into drones?
Can I?
Yeah, you
Well,
could. But drones
so-
also have tags too.
Yeah.
I think that'd be. Do you think that'd be easier or harder to spoof than someone like a living person's like actual ID versus just a drone command? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Stefan.
So, Cousin put in this chat, there's vehicle mask that's different, and said robots would be drones, and that's covered by the vehicle mask spell, which is not the same. But could I turn people into looking like machines? I guess that would be that it doesn't specify in the rule book.
Yeah,
So
you
that
could
would be
make
a
somebody look
homebrew.
like a drone, but if somebody did a digital scan, they would see that the drone had a sin or doesn't have a sin, and there'd be some questions. I mean, not every drone has a sin, but illegal drones definitely don't have sins. They don't have any kind of markers or anything that goes off. But you guys, if you can do a spoof command, you could use your cracking plus logic, just like Teslin pointed out, and just tell the scanner to kind of not pay attention to you two.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I could use my spoof command via my RCC on the drone that's going in to spoof, make them think that belongs. But for you two, I'd have to do it that way. So,
Alrighty.
All right. Let's see. What's spoof again? Spoof is
Cracking plus logic.
Thank you. Plus logic. All right, here we go. Not great. Woof.
I'm going to spend 2 edge to give him an edge.
Okay. I'm going to use, I think I'm going to have to use, there's no 4s in there, so.
Do you still need more edge, my friend?
I'm going to use 3 edge.
Okay.
To reroll 3 of those dice.
Here, I will give him an edge to let him reroll all his misses.
So you're going to spend 2 edge so he gets another one, and so he has 4 edge.
There. And then you can just reroll all your...
Well, yeah, there were only 4 to reroll, right? So
yeah, so you gave 1 extra dice. That's yeah.
Yeah.
There's 5 to reroll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you dice
is there
rolled
5?
6.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed on that. Okay, thank you. Then I'm gonna reroll my misses.
Bruh. So you got 2 now?
Yep, got 2.
Now I do have. I want to make sure this works. Since I do have the overclock, is there a way I could add 2 extra dice to that by using that program?
Let me check real quick. I do have that open. I did have that open. 1 second.
And then I also have. No, I don't think browse is the. No, that's a search action of mine. But overclock might be able to get me 2.
Was overclock in the main book?
Yes, it's in the main book.
There it is. Yes, it adds 2 dice to a matrix action.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
One of them must be a wild die.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I think.
This is our first wild die of the game.
So I'm going to roll these separately. I'm just going to roll a d6 first. This will not be the wild dice. This is the normal one.
Okay.
Good luck. Huzzah!
Okay. And then this one will be the wild one.
Number matters. You rolled a 2. And the book says...
Nothing happens. He's successful. So great. Yay.
A 2, 3, or 4 on a wild die means nothing. Nothing at all.
Only if it's
3.
a 1 that's really bad. Now,
but a 6 is really good.
6 is really good. I wish I had chosen wild die on the first one, but that's the way it is.
All right. So describe how this happens, because this did not happen with just like as you were doing it, everything. It was not a comfortable like button pushing, hey, everything's fine kind of scenario.
No, they're walking up to the door, and I'm like sitting there on my comm trying to do it because my comm's not internal. I actually have it on my wrist because I'm always afraid I'm gonna have to burn it. I'm like just really like I'm pulling stuff up, throwing it up in AR, like in the driver's seat, trying to like move it quickly. Just like I take my hat off on one point because I can't focus. Like, just like pulling on my duster, trying to like get it, and nothing's comfortable. As I finally, I think it works, and I like look over as I like focus in, try to see if you actually get in or not.
Well, they walk through the scanner and nothing happens. You guys are inside Hooper.
And Rhea looks over to Convoy. Know how you feel, man.
All right.
Fist pump.
I will at this point let you know that you can. That I will light up a long haul after that.
The drone enters the building and begins heading down the main service access and banks to the right. He doesn't say anything, but his actions are determined. You know he's heading for the C Tower, and the C Tower is where Millard's at. Not the B Tower, because that's where Angela is, and possibly Susanna. That's across the building. That's across the way. He seems to be upholding to what he said he was going to do. After moving through the service tunnels for a period of time, he comes up to a door, opens it, steps out into the cool hallway on the tiled floor, looks both left and right, and holds the door and waits for you two to walk out as well. This way, as he points along the alabaster-colored hallways and the gray tile floor, pointing to a large hub, in which has the letter C, and one section of it dictating out that you're heading toward the proper tower. As you move through the hallways, it's quiet. At 9 o'clock, 10-ish at night, as we're getting closer, the rain starts coming in on time. In the building, you guys can't hear it, but you do hear the chimes go off going, it's 10 o'clock. Be careful, it's raining outside. Remember your umbrellas. That wonderful voice that kicks in on almost every major building. Remind people pleasantly of all the oddities of the world. Shuffling through this section, only a few cleaning drones zipping about, late night individuals having a smooch on a couch. You make your way into a large circular area where there is a bank of 4 elevators. Back to back to back. The back elevator, he'll say, is the service elevator. That's one that I have access to. And he heads for it. He doesn't wait. He's determined. He's determined to achieve the task at hand. He made a promise. He moves over to the door. looks to see if you follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
He moves his left hand next to the locking mechanism. There's a beep. It recognizes him. It lights up. The pad then lights up, and he pushes in numbers. The door opens up shortly afterwards. Another anthro drone steps out past, and it is pushing a small cleaning cart that is layered with several little robots that dash about the place and clean and buff the floor. He acknowledges that drone as it steps out, but that drone pays no attention to him. As he moves in and turns to face the panel to select a floor. He makes a hand gesture to the two of you.
I get in. 20, please.
He'll hold his hand up to a pad where there are no buttons, and it beeps, and then 20 appears on a little display. A little circular light begins rotating as the doors close and the elevator begins shooting up. The pressurized elevator moves with alacrity. It's smooth. Every once in a while, it's a slight little jar, but for the most part, it's an elegant ride. He says, this is a building where most of the IT and software people live. I don't know this building that well. I don't know this part that well. But I do know most of the layouts.
Careful. We're still like hooked in.
Oh yeah, you guys are all hooked in.
Okay, careful what you say. You're being listened to at all times.
So your pan, even though it goes into the physical building, is all part of the same pan. It doesn't connect to the host in any way, shape, or form. And the drone isn't part of the host because it's been long since disconnected, and you guys never made it part of your pan, so it's literally out running around by itself. When the doors open up, you are facing a hallway that is dim, lit only by like small rails of light on the floor, wall, and ceiling. The doors to these apartments are also lit and numbered, and it stretches around and off to the right. You remember seeing the blueprints as kind of like a spiral shape, creating very odd shaped apartments, but nonetheless, it's, constantly looking out as you begin moving to the right. The drone follows, or the drone leads, because he was told, get my friends to Millard. That's a deal. Did anybody ever tell him where Millard lived? Anybody ever tell him the room number? Nope. But he's heading there. At least, maybe he knows where he's going. You guys continue down the hallway, and you move from when you exit, you're in a section that is in the 60s. As he guides you into the 60s, you enter into the 70s. He stops at this point in time, and he begins looking around. He moves around to like one of the doors, and he begins looking for something. You realize he's looking in AR for some sort of symbols or codes or something. Are either you guys have your artificial reality up and running?
I'll have it up.
Okay.
QR codes sit next to the doors, and he's looking at them. They are in the AR, so he scans them as he moves up to them. And then he goes from 71 to 72, 73. You guys can see 75, but he's going methodically. He knows where he's supposed to be at, but he doesn't know the exact one. 74, he scans. Then he moves over to 75, and almost instantly goes, this one.
Thank you.
All right.
Do
I appreciate your help.
you have a way to open the door?
He holds his hand up, and it beeps. And then he pushes some buttons on a small pad. The same code as he pushed to get into the elevator. The door opens.
Thank you.
From the camera view, you remember seeing this elongated foyer area leading into a living room with no furniture, lots of cords. The same exists. It's exactly like you saw in the image of the camera that Convoy had shown.
Millard?
Nothing answers your soft voice as you talk into the room.
I walk in and head straight for the ESP machine.
All right. It is aglow with lights. It's currently in use. To the right-hand side, there's that charging station with some sort of large mechanical fighter drone, whatever you want to call it, that seems to have a massive port on the front of it. You can see the inside of the ESP is lit up, and there is a torso in there. No arms, no legs, but there's a head. You can't see who it is because the ESPs will frost over after a short period of time. They work better at cold temperatures.
Is the ESP machine bolted to the floor or anything?
They tend to be pretty large and heavy, so you can't pick them up and like carry them with you. But there is a fail-safe on the outside that you can push, and it turns it off and everything. You can pull somebody out of an ESP prematurely. It's not going to hurt them. There's no Bioshock or, oh gosh, they're dead kind of scenario.
Just gentle. Make sure you don't scream.
I check the time on the clock.
Yep, it is 10:06.
Let's say that we have until 10:15 to get out of here. And then I hit the button and wake this guy up.
The machine begins cycling down. It takes roughly about 30 to 45 seconds as everything starts to come to life. The hatch opens, sliding up into the side, similar to what you experienced earlier a few days ago. The man on the other side begins blinking and opening his eyes as he's coming out of his lethargic moment. And the two of you, as he is looking about, can hear from the doorway Jason go, someone's coming. Someone's coming. Because Jason has not left.
Who's the someone?
Take a loop, Jason.
All right. Do you guys want to tell Jason to get lost? What do you want to do with Jason?
ST, can you cover the door while I get our friend ready?
Of course.
Don't draw any attention.
Right.
Hi, Miller.
Right.
I need you to be really quiet because there's sunshine after the rain. And I open the bag and I motion for him to get in.
He has no arms or legs, and the machine reaches out with its large claws and picks his torso up. He's like, you actually made it. You're here? And he realizes at that point in time, and he quiets up. He looks to the arms, and they begin maneuvering him, hovering over toward where you're at, and then seeing the bag, he looks to you, and the arms lower him down. Whatever is left of this man. And you begin adjusting him.
Flip on the jammer as well.
Yep, I flip it on. I follow your instructions and flip it on the correct way.
ST, you get back over toward the door, and Jason is standing there. The door is open, and he's just standing there. And as you come walking over, he goes, and he looks to you and says, someone is coming. And then he looks down the hallway.
Are they coming from the left or the right? Are they going up or down?
He steps in. I heard the elevator open up after we got out.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the door, and then I'm going to put my ear to the door and listen to see if I can hear someone walking past the door.
No, you hear somebody walk up to the door.
We should not.
You hear a male voice go, yeah, that drone? Yeah, it came to this door. Huh, No, it doesn't belong to these people. Isn't this one of the IT guys? Yeah. That's crazy. All right. Well, we don't need a rogue drone going around here. Doo-doo-doo-doo. The doorbell rings.
Convoy,
All
can you
right.
do anything to help us right now?
If I can, I am in. I will ask. Sorry, get my thoughts together. Jason, would you do me a favor and tell those fine gentlemen that you were sent here by Angela to extend a personal invitation to a party to Millard?
Jason turns to face the door at this point in time. I'm going to need you to make a charisma plus influence roll.
This is going to go great because I am not skilled in influence.
I will give you an extra dice because Jason likes you.
Okay.
While this is happening, can ST and I hide? And then I'm going to put Jason, not Jason, I'm going to put Millard Allen back into his pod.
All right. Make your stealth rolls, you two.
Alrighty.
Charisma plus 0.
He has no charisma influence skill. Jason says to you, I'll let you pick. What does Jason say that he's like unsure to tell you, yeah, he'll lie for you.
It probably is one of those moments where the AI like machine wall kind of hits and he goes, that doesn't make sense. Angela didn't send me
Oh,
here.
perfect. Yeah, that's his response. All right, so Nova and Steel Tiger, you guys hide amongst the devices and the computer bits and pieces. Steel Tiger, that's a badass fucking... Oops, I finally did it. You hide near the table that has a cyber limb on it. So that's where you're hiding. And Nova, you're in the room behind the ESP.
Yeah, I slide that into the duffel bag.
We only have so much room in that duffel bag.
He needs an arm.
All right. The door opens because after they ring the doorbell once, they're going to ring it again. They're going to force it open because they have security. They have that option. They open the door and they see Jason. Hey, drone, what are you doing here? Registration, JS0 in. You're not hooked to the system. And Jason turns and says, no, I've been gone for a little bit. I came here to see someone I knew. Security steps into the room at this point in time. They look like security guards for a mall. They're no more threatening than a puppy in a wet paper bag at this point, but still, they have cameras on them.
Hey, Convoy, do you think you can turn off these cameras?
Don't. Like, I wouldn't. Like, it hasn't alerted anything yet.
Okay.
I don't have eyes on him either.
Remember, you're in disguise too.
Yeah, that's why I'm not the one doing the hacking. I'm asking if you can. With my
All
mind
right.
thoughts.
He says, but you don't belong in this room. Millard Allen doesn't have a butler drone, and you're supposed to be in a completely different tower. Hang on, let's pull up your file. And so they kind of start fiddling around with their little pad, and it's taking a little bit longer and a little bit longer. And 10:15 is getting closer.
Jason, just tell him you're in the wrong tower. Just go. It's time for you to go back to Angela.
All right, I'll give you 2 extra dice this time. For charisma plus. Actually, this would be con, wouldn't it? But no, you still don't have influence, so.
I'm in con. I have con.
All right, so let's use con.
Lying than persuading.
Now you're lying to him. Because influence is not working here. So I'll still give you those 2 extra dice. One success.
I have 2 edge. I will use it to make it 2 successes.
Awesome. That's kind of what I was wanting. And his eyes lightened up, and he holds his hand out, and he holds his little left hand out, and he hooks his finger and goes, "I'm sorry. You're right. It is. I need to go back to my tower to see Angela." And then he puts his hand down. And he starts walking past, and the guards are like, "Hold up, guy! Don't walk off without us. You are not registered in the system. How did you even get in?" And their voices begin to slowly dissipate as they head down the hallway, and Jason heads toward the elevator.
Amazing. I get out of my hiding spot and I go rebag our guy.
How are they going to access the elevators now to get out?
Can we take that drone with us?
What, Jason? You want me to take?
No, the spider drone.
Don't get greedy.
Jason's home. Just take the.
There's only so much room in that bag.
All right.
How big is the spider drone? Oh, it has to be big enough that it's like
He's not coming. He's not coming. It's just him.
So, to the audience, you have to understand they are in this darkened, dimly lit room filled with tech and wires all over the place. Right now, Steel Tiger is stuffing cyber limbs into the bag with the torso dude while they're yelling, "No, we're not taking it. Put it back. We're not taking it. No, this stays too big. Stop it. We don't need." This is the quiet argument going on in this room at this time.
That's what I'm imagining too. Just like, stop, don't get greedy. Just take. You guys you don't even know how you're gonna get out now.
We belong here. We'll be fine.
All right. Success.
out the door.
You are seeing an empty hallway, both to the left and the right. You know that the elevator is to your left.
Boom.
But you don't know what's to the right.
Yeah, what's at the right?
Yeah, what goes down that length of hallway? Because right now, you've got to figure a way to get out of the building. Out of the building is what?
200
Through
feet?
elevators?
Yeah, you said we're about 200 feet up at the moment?
Yes.
In case of fire, use the stairs.
Yeah,
Convoy, where's the stairs from the map that we picked up earlier?
All right, he can give you guidance.
Give us, yeah.
Yeah, just make something up.
Yeah, it's basically right by the elevator. It's usually where fire stairs are.
Sounds good.
I take the fire stairs.
All right, you head back toward the elevator, and you open the fire escape, and you begin heading down the flight of stairs. It's echo, it's loud. You begin heading down and down until you get to the ground floor. You've gone 20 floors. This is a lot of exercise, but luckily your cybernetics is definitely keeping you in shape.
Man, thank God I replaced those knees.
Right? You're like,
all right.
Like,
the good news is you guys don't make that noise with the physical mask on because it's covered. You break out, you're at the bottom of the stairs, you're in the main halls. Keep talking to me.
Keep casual. We walk out the door.
All right, I need you to make a charisma plus stealth. Keep casual and head out the door with a duffel bag with a person in it.
So stealth charisma?
Stealth and charisma. We got a 4 from Steel Tiger. I'm looking for at least 2. Three from Nova.
Well,
you make your way through the main halls. People maybe tip a hat as you guys pass by. Don't say too much. You get to the main foyer area of the back section leading to the parking lot. You get up to the glass doors. You're sweating at this point in time as you push the glass door open and carry the duffel bag out into the parking lot. And then Mama Bear comes pulling up in front of you and stops most abruptly.
I get in the back.
Right on time.
Pile in and drive off into the night.
And I dropped the masks because that is exhausting.
Yeah, I rolled like 3 times for the watchers to even pick up on the masks and the magic running around. Those guys are not paying attention. Like they should have been like, "What are those giant glowing dots over there?" They didn't. Not one time.
They don't call it Hooper Industries for nothing.
Well.
And with that, I think it's time to take another break, right?
Yeah, let's take a break and come back and see who won.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa. Yes. And as a reminder, we're giving away a PDF copy of Astral Ways. That's right, Astral Ways, to help you dive deeper into the meta planes. Just type #RunPC in the chat to gain 1 entry, and you get an additional entry for every 100 bits you donate. And if you subscribe, you get 7 entries. The winner will be announced at the end of the episode, and you'll be reached out to via Twitch Whispers. So stay tuned, and we'll be back.
Can I just ask, what does a summoning tea kettle look like?
Oh, a summoning tea kettle. It is made out of cast iron that has been painted ritually with symbols in blood, obviously, that are then coated and shellacked over so that they don't flake off, that way it can last for centuries. And we use a nice clear coat, though, so you can see them quite nice, quite clear. We mix in, with the blood, we mix in the iridescent paint, so it gives us a nice little beautiful shimmer, especially as it heats up. And as you heat it up, that's where the magic happens, because that is when all of the symbols start to glow and get bright and beautiful. And as the tea kettle whistles, that is the summoning ritual complete.
If you have an interest in using the summoning tea kettle, or taking part in any of the other worlds in our games, you don't have to have experience. Just join our Discord, and the GMs will work with you and help you find a game you enjoy The link is in the chat.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?
What a spell. She says spell like 92 times. Spell.
You get to play with us now, which is so exciting. So with channel points, bits, and subscribes, you can give rewards to the player of your choice. So how to do that is, no, not Bob. Channel points, I believe it is 500 points, gets you NERPs, which is +3 to any dice roll to the player of your choice. For 1,000 channel points, you can do a point of edge to any player. And for 2,500 channel points, you can do 4 edge to the player of your choice. Now for bits, for 100 bits, that's $1, you can do the NERPs. For 200 bits, that's $2, you can do the point of edge. Or for 500 bits, that's $5, get 4 edge to give to the player of your choice. And finally, again, the subs, if you subscribe, you can give 4 edge to any player.
Hey, everybody. We're back for the finality. Final.
Yes.
That part. The end. Phone call is made. Johnson is contacted. Johnson is eager to pick up the package.
Bet it is.
And since you are contacting him late at night and he is available, if now is acceptable, he will meet you at the same spot at which he met you last time. So as there's no worry about a babysitting fee.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Like
Is he going to deal with like the I mean, he can deal with all the signals and stuff later. Like once we hand him off, it's not our problem anymore.
I take the arm out the duffel bag.
Give the guy a little bit of air.
Yeah, I mean, here, go ahead, take deep breaths, Millard. Yeah. Move that arm, stuff it behind the seat.
Don't even offer it to him because he doesn't even have. It's like taking candy from a baby, man.
I mean, is he going to be able to fight back?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'll slide the arm back in the bag.
I mean, you could just give him your old one if that one's really so much of an upgrade.
How much better? No, I'm not going to go do all that.
It's an alpha cyber arm that has 2 assets of strength, 2 assets of agility, and 1, and a slide on it for a compartment. So that's
no,
10,
Trent,
10.
you don't want that.
So that's what.
You know what? Yeah, here you go. Let's start getting you upgraded. I'll let you have the arm.
Does he want it?
Do you want the arm?
The guy? Yeah, he'll take his arm. Like, can you put it back on him?
He wants his parts.
You don't mind if she has an arm, right? He's gonna look down into the bag.
Put him back in the bag.
He says, if you're going to use the arm, I'd definitely take all the tags off of it, though. Because that's not my arm. That's the arm they gave me.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So just like that arm, I'm covered from head to toe in tags. I would totally wipe the inside of your truck after this.
Okay, all right.
The drive into the Barrens, into the secured part, the war zone behind the large concrete barriers, leads you to the gang-controlled territory where you meet up in the big box store grocery parking lot filled with burnt-out cars in the pouring rain. The truck comes to a stop. And underneath the overhang, there's two large trolls giving puffs onto some long hauls as Mama Bear comes to a stop. The Johnson steps out in his trench coat from inside the burnt building, looks over and gives a nod, and then looks to his two large friends, and they start walking toward Mama Bear.
I open the door and then I pull the bag out that's like now unzipped and like you can see Millard, and I am ready to hand it over. I'm ready to hand him over the bag, but him the person inside.
Wait, does the bag belong to us? I thought we were just borrowing.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, just take the bag.
Let them know they have to keep the jammer on them. If they need a jammer. There's a kill switch.
He's apparently covered head to toe in tags. I'll leave that to you guys.
One of the burly trolls who has a very knotty left hand, big bulging warts, moves the duffel bag, looks inside. Millard looking out, surprised at what's going on. Troll hoists him up and begins picking him up like a child because of the size of this torso. And he holds him to give a look. The Johnson steps past the troll, gives a look, steps past the troll and Millard toward Nova. He produces a cred stick from the Bank of Europe. For you.
Thank you. He's got tags. You're gonna have to have someone deal with that. But yeah, there's a jammer in there, and that should help out.
Kill switch.
Are you saying the kill switch part from inside the truck? Like kill switch,
kill switch.
The jammer's for the kill switch, which you may know.
He gives a nod. I appreciate working with you. Steel Tiger. They pick up they don't pick up the duffel bag, but they pull the jammer out and they put it with him. And now the troll is carrying the human like an infant, and they start heading back toward the burnt out store. And he makes a hand gesture to you and the cred stick. Are we good, or did you want to check it before I go?
Yes, please. And then I check it.
There's 30,000 on there. That's more than he offered.
Thank you. Nice doing business. Call anytime.
He gives a nod, says nothing else, and then walks toward the burnt out store through the pouring rain. The mission is over. Pay has come.
Back and get back in the car.
So I generally give 3 to 5 karma based upon like role playing and stuff like that. The mission accomplishment. You guys have accomplished the mission, which top notch, gives it all the way. But you also surprised me with the duffel bag. It's hilarious. You avoided violence. I gave you such an opportunity to beat the crap out of unskilled, portly security guards, and you didn't do it. Look at the restraint you had. It was wonderful.
I wanted to so bad.
You wanted to so bad.
And the role playing. You guys did really good role playing, so I'm going to award you 8 karma.
8?
8.
What? Thanks.
The cyber arm was left in the bag. It was not taken with.
Okay.
An alphaware cyber arm with those modifiers is probably going to be about 40 to 50 brand new. So you might be able to get half or a quarter that value on the market or use it yourself. Whatever you want. They didn't want to bring it with because it's not important. They have what they have.
I feel kind of attached to my limbs as of right now, so
you can do whatever you want with it, man.
Well, hold on now. I wouldn't mind taking a look at that.
All right, yeah. I was about to say. I was just about to say I'm attached to my limbs, so I don't need this one. So.
Well, we can divvy up treasure and whatnot because that's at a later date. But for right now, we gotta get out a prize.
Yeah.
Time to do it.
Yes. Correct. It is time for the prize giveaway. Our winner tonight of the PDF copy of Shadowrun 60 book Astral Ways, submitting with a hashtag RunPC and donating 100 bits is Teslan. Congratulations. As a reminder, bits not only help out the players, but helps you become a winner. So thank you again, and thanks everyone for participating tonight. Chat has been awesome as always.
Excellent. It was great hanging out with everybody. I'd like to thank you for joining us, and we will be back next Thursday. Right? We're going to be...
Maybe.
No, we're not. Next Thursday, there is going to be... Man, it's not a rerun, is it? It's a one-shot. There's going to be a one-shot. We won't be back until the 29th with our Shadowrun game, because next week is Origins, and some of us are going to be at Origins.
Nice.
So we'll be back in 2 weeks. So look for us then, but definitely come back to Gen Con TV next Thursday and hang out with the group doing the one shot. Got nothing else. I ran out of stuff. We should probably call it.
Thanks, chat.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.